How would your life change if you owned a coaching business that made you 250,000 euros per year without you having to spend a single dime on advertisement? Well, that's exactly what I have done with my German brand. I built a coaching business only through YouTube, only through social media without spending anything on advertisements. And today I'm going to tell you how I did it. Plus, it's not only me who's going to tell you. I also brought my good friend Thorsten and mentor, who I pretty much learned, everything from in terms of business. So we're gonna have a very lengthy discussion, a very lengthy conversation on how to build your first coaching business and make a shit ton of money with it while helping people without having anything to spend on advertisement. So I'd say, let's start, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. So what's up, guys? This is Alex, and I'm here with my, I should say, brother from another mother. My mentor, my great uncle.
I'm not that freaking old, dude.
No, not in terms of
like
this.
5 generations.
No,
before.
I meant it more like in
I'm
terms.
190 years old, bitches, and that's how good I look.
Oh boy, I actually meant in terms of wisdom. Yeah. And this is Thorsten, my mentor, one of my best friends. We've known each other for, I don't know, 6 years? 6 years now?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Give or take. I mean, some of them are blurry and drunken and very much.
Most of them, right? Most of them are. Now we're going to talk a little bit about how you can build yourself, how you can build up a 250,000 euro plus coaching business in under 12 months without spending any time on advertisement. Yeah, because that's what I did, and he helped me a lot with it. So, I guess let's talk about you, man. First of all, I should maybe for the people who don't know you, if they haven't watched any other videos of us, maybe I should introduce you real quick. And there are our backup batteries, perfect timing.
Backup battery delivery service.
Backup battery delivery in case our batteries run empty. And this is Thorsten. He's the guy I owe a lot of my success to. We built a couple very successful businesses in Germany who pretty much everyone is trying to copy or already copying, if I can put it like this.
4 times for one, including the disclaimer text down to every single word. So yeah, if being copied is the highest form of flattery, I have a lot of experience in being flattered.
And I think you have over 15 years now, or 15 years of online business experience. 15 years ago you started, so it's a...
Yeah, I lost count because 16 years ago I was doing guerrilla marketing for some guys and I didn't even know that was something to do with online marketing. So technically it's 16, but yeah.
16 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
So I've been to everything, right? I don't know any numbers about revenue. I don't know if I can talk about this.
Well, let's just say we crossed the 8 figures about 3 years ago, and it's been going pretty nice ever since.
Going pretty nice. It's a nice way of putting it. And I guess.
So that's me. Now talk about you, because for some reason it makes total sense that there might be somebody arriving at this very video who has not heard about you. So introduce yourself in like 15 seconds.
If you haven't, I think the German community is already all over the place in this video.
No.
So and then I guess would start right away with how I actually started.
Look, I have a ton of questions about it, so if I may.
Okay, actually start like this.
Because for me, it's very funny. I was looking at it from the outside, from the beginning, and I was seeing it, but I never knew what was actually going on in your head until you came out and just couldn't hold it anymore and started talking about it. So I guess for me, the most important, most impressive thing was, what was like the beginning of this journey for you mindset-wise, and what was the first big shift that you experienced?
Oh, awesome question. The first step was pretty much recording YouTube videos and putting them on YouTube in 2014. Yeah, so 4 years ago. Recording YouTube videos and releasing one new video every day. That was like the big shift, and the mindset shift was, I actually looked at Elliot Hulse. I looked at his videos back then all the time, and at some point I thought to myself, well, no offense, Elliot, but he doesn't look that smart. I can do that. I mean, I love you, Elliot. You're the best. But that's literally where I thought, hey, I've been through a lot. I learned a lot. I read a lot of books. I achieved a lot of my biggest goals, one of them being a professional musician, going on tour and stuff. And
yeah, I've seen your stage photos. They are like freakishly impressive.
Yeah, it's cool. I love it. I love being on stage, either for music or for speaking. And yeah, then I pretty much started. And the biggest mindset shift after that was learning about sales. Because as many coaches, and sorry for the traffic around here.
Yeah, we have hot girls walking to the video. Sorry, I think we really should apologize for that.
Should
for
cut that out.
audience.
Should edit that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest mindset shift was actually sales, because I started pretty naively thinking, oh, I just need to provide good content. I just need to help people, and that will solve everything. And lo and behold, I found out pretty quickly that's not the case.
Wow, yeah, I know. Like, right? Just give everything and people will just magically give you money. Sadly, doesn't work. You have to also be willing to ask for it. And what is the funny part about it, right? It improves the service that they receive because they now focus on it better.
And that was the biggest mindset shift, because I thought, hey, if I provide enough value through social media, which you have to do, which you should do, like there's no question about it. However, it's not the whole equation. There's a part missing, and that's the sales part. And the funny thing is, first of all, when I started to learn about sales, I recorded a new YouTube video for 2 months every day, right? And then somebody came up to me, somebody from the States, and he saw my YouTube channel in German. He was like, dude, why aren't you selling? So I went to this sales mastermind. I started to learn about sales. And the funny thing is, first of all, I started to make money. Second of all, I provided better coaching because, what's his called? What's his name? I forgot the name. It's 21 rules of leadership. He says leading is influence, right? And I would add something to this: sales is influence. So if you want to be a good coach, not just make a lot of money, you need to know sales. You need to know sales to actually get clients, and you need to know sales. You need to know how to influence somebody and how to sell somebody on an opinion, or you need to sell somebody to do something, right? Because if you're a coach, that's pretty much what you're doing. You're helping people. You're influencing them to live a better life, and for this you need to know sales. So that was the second biggest shift, and it didn't just make me more money. It actually made my clients get better results like this. So
yeah, this is an important part to get. I mean, most people, I'm reading in a bunch of groups and forums where I'm still taking part in, or at least inactively following sometimes, that most people, when they're starting out, especially if they're providing high quality service, because they're so service focused, they have trouble asking for larger amounts of money. And I find that it's super intuitive to say this in the beginning and say, hey, I just want to help people, so why should money play a role with it? But here's what you notice when you're a high-ticket coach, and I guess you have the same experience. Whenever I teach people and I want to help people like for free by accident, unless they're like the once-in-a-lifetime exception, like you, for example, who I just say something at lunch and tomorrow you come back and say you have it implemented.
yeah, I mean,
Pretty much. Yeah, that's speed of implementation right there. But 99 out of 100 people do the following. Oh yeah, that sounds great. I should do that sometime. If you give it to them for free. If they're paying $1,000 to $5,000 for a certain amount of sessions with you, all of a sudden what you tell them becomes what they have to do immediately. So them investing more into getting from you means they being more invested into getting something out of what you teach them.
Yeah. And there's this, I don't know why this comes to my mind, but in all of Dan Kennedy's seminars, right? He's pretty much in every seminar, he's bitching about just to get them to raise their price. It's an endless battle. And it's true. So yeah, the biggest thing and the easiest thing is actually to just raise your price. And it's nothing more than the mindset shift, right? Can you keep a straight face while telling the price?
Yeah, I mean, it's for you, and it is valuable for them. And once you understand that you being able to quote higher prices actually translates immediately to increased results for the people you're working with, even if you think right now they don't have that much money, you understand that you have to be able to do it. You have to be able to do it because unless you're the most retarded coach in the universe, you will get better at delivering value through your coachings if you've done it 10, 20 times. That means that if you charge the same price at 10, 20 times ago, people will feel a disparate connection between what they invest in you and what you invest in them. Therefore, devaluing it, therefore not making the effort to actually put it into practice.
And to add something for this, to this, I actually noticed myself, if every time I raised my prices, this is called raised. Every time I raise my price, I notice I over deliver even more because I'm actually scared to.
So it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
On one time, they deliver more investment, and you deliver more.
Exactly, because every time when I charged a higher price, I was scared that I didn't deliver enough value. So I over-delivered like a motherfucker.
Yeah, and
so it's both ways.
It's a third way also that it just came to my mind. Imagine you have 10 people who immediately do what you say, have tremendous value out of it, are properly motivated, and then turn into a case study. You film them later and they talk about their successes. How much more inspiring do you think it is if you have 10 people for whom you moved mountains in order for other people who are right now not as motivated as they should be to then get motivated, get started? So you have a triple threat if you're willing to do it. So after we talk so much about prices and how hard it is to raise them, maybe let's tell people about your journey in terms of prices, because I think the shifts that you did, they might now think it's like going from 100 euros per hour to 120 euros per hour. And you did so much more than that, and I would like to get the inside spot on that.
All right, so the first thing is, what you just said, it's not this step-by-step process. It's more of a mindset shift. I think the first time I read about it was from Robert Ringer as well, where he said, well, you can't ascend through different levels, but most people think that, right? I have to ascend from 50 bucks to 100 bucks to 120 to 150 to 200 to...
That's already good. They go from 90 bucks to 95 or 100 bucks and they're already afraid. And that's the thing. You will never actually get to the point where you get the most value to the most amount of people if you're not willing to go, okay, what do I have to do to feel comfortable? To quote 3 or 4 times as much. You won't get to delivering the value that that would allow you to quote that comfortably.
And here's the irony as well, right? You only get comfortable with it by doing it a couple times. Literally, that's it. So I started by just releasing a new YouTube video every day and actually telling them, hey, write me an email, write me on Facebook, just to get in touch with them and get them on the phone. And I literally just sold them, right? Sales is everything. Sales and marketing, you need to know this. Only then you can actually really deliver them great value. And the thing is,
how did you get their phone number? Because people might now going.
I'll go to this indeed. Just in terms of, what was the question again? In terms of
what were your first, like, what was your pricing in the beginning?
Yeah, all right, yeah.
Shifts?
Yeah, that was the biggest mindset shift. Because in the beginning I thought like this as well. I thought, I should start with 20 bucks an hour, right? Because I was, how old was it? 23. Yeah.
What do you know as a 23-year-old, right?
Jack shit. I should start with 20 bucks an hour. I went to 40 to 50. And when I was at 50, I thought, man, I'm making 50 bucks an hour. That is insane. And
because you were still a student at the time, right? So 50 bucks.
Yeah, I was a student and a musician.
Yeah. So 50 bucks an hour is a ton of money.
It was great. But I thought to myself, well, yeah, how far can you go? And of course, I went through this ascension model as well, that I wanted to ascend through 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. And it got frustrating at some point because more and more people were watching the videos, and I went to more, I got more people on the phone and I got more coaching clients. But the thing is, the work was growing exponentially, right? Because the more clients you have, it's not just plus one, it's actually an exponential growth, because you don't just have the sessions with them, they also call you in between, send you emails, send you WhatsApp message or Facebook message. So it's not just the 1 hour you spend with a client per week, but actually the couple messages or quick emails to send you in between as well. So it started to accumulate and I got frustrated. And the biggest mindset shift was just, all right, sit down and actually write down what you deliver to them, what kind of value, and write down the value of your time. How valuable is your time right now? I remember the last really big price shift was to pretty much over $1,000 per hour. Was about a year ago after a seminar where I sat down and actually did the math on, okay, I sell this many products per day, this many books per day, I have this many clients, this is what I'm charging. And I'm undercharging my coaching by, I don't know, 100%. So I just doubled overnight. I canceled 2 clients because I told them, hey, this is the new price. Are you in or not? And they said, no, all right, cool, you're out. And in the same week, I got 2 new clients with the new price. So I actually had less work, but made double the money. So sit down and actually write down what you're delivering to them, because you're not just delivering the hour of coaching, right? You're delivering all your years of experience. You're delivering way more. Maybe they need just somebody to talk to. Maybe they need a different opinion. Maybe you give them some new knowledge. Maybe they just don't want to be alone. Maybe they just, I talked about it with you last week. I have one client who's literally just there. He's just talking to me for an hour. He's just telling me all the stuff he did in this week. And he's super happy because he has 4 businesses and he has nobody else to talk to. So he says, okay, he's just telling me what he does and he's super, super happy. So I sat down what I actually bring to the table and how much I would love to charge per hour. And it was a scary number because back then I decided to charge 500 euros per hour. And
what were you charging before you decided 500 euros per hour?
like 100?
Okay, so it's a 5 times increase in price. I mean,
Yeah.
that's scary as
Yeah,
in the beginning.
Oh, it was scary as fuck, and I failed in selling it in the beginning as well because I wasn't comfortable with the new number yet. So one thing I always tell people is repeat the number again and again and again. Yeah, it's 500 bucks per hour. It's 500 bucks per hour. It's 500 bucks per hour. Or, well, even better, let's not make this mistake. Don't charge by hour, but by package. So I told them, okay, it's 6 months. You get 3 sessions per month, and the total price is whatever. So it's 1,500 per month. But it always sounds better as a package than with the single sessions. Don't do that mistake. I did that at the beginning.
Very
And
good sales advice, yeah.
yeah, and I just raised the price. I was scared shitless. I was nervous telling the price. I was actually shaking. I was so nervous. But it worked out after I did it 3 or 4 times because
How many calls did you have to have before you get the first close? And
oh,
how much time
about
was it?
3 or 4.
3 or 4 calls.
For real?
in time span.
Oh, it was the same week.
Same week. So get this. You are shit scared.
Yeah.
You're more than quadrupling your prices, and this is the highest price you ever quoted. This is not like, okay, I already got paid 20K and now I'm just going to like a fraction of this. This is the highest price you ever quoted. And it took you less than a week to actually close the first client. And after that, how was it after that compared to like, how did you feel? What, were you just as afraid?
Oh,
after?
then it was normal. No, suddenly it was, oh, that's my new reality. Because that's the funny thing about it, right? The really difficult one is just telling them the price for the first time. After that, it's easy.
Because the first time you're telling yourself that you're worth it, and you kind of need another person accepting it to
Pretty much.
to decide that you really are worth it. Because it's
Yeah.
a combination of inner game and the outside feedback that you're
It's
getting.
way more the inner game. I mean, because what I noticed as well, the insanely complicated network of mindsets or beliefs about money and about our beliefs of
Oh,
money
yeah.
and about other people.
That's
For
a
example, the
whole
one thing was back then I didn't have the money, right? I didn't have, so I decided, well, that means nobody else has the money. So I assumed how much money people are able to pay, and
And usually your peer group's also a limiter, because if you don't have anybody
Exactly.
in your current peer group of the guys you're hanging out with every day who can spend that much, then why would you assume that there are people out there, right?
Exactly.
Except theoretically, you know that the average salary for somebody who is a professional, let's say in engineering, is this. The average of social skills of people who are engineering is that. And if you help them
Exactly.
bridge the gap, well, you're probably worth a multiple of that to them.
Exactly. And here's the thing, just by assuming this, as people can't afford it, you are shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, because then you're timid when you're quoting the price. You're like, yeah, I know it's a lot of money, but and
Or if you do holy shit, if you do this, like just
yeah,
stop.
Just stop.
Please stop.
Maybe we can talk about this real quick, like how you actually do
Before I
this.
come to one thing, I mean,
Right.
it's a quote that I love from Grant Cardone. He always says, treat people like a millionaire and they will act like a millionaire. Because they will spend their money anyway,
Good one.
right? People will find a way to spend their money. You hammered this into my mind as well. People will spend their money anyway. Just walk down the street and look how many people have a new iPhone, have expensive clothes. Look how many people are eating in restaurants. Look how many people are smoking on a daily basis and just throwing money away for smoke. Look how much money pay. How much money pay? Great. How many people pay money for new clothes, for new cars, for entertainment? So they're gonna spend their money anyway. It's
Yeah.
better if they spend their money on something that will actually really improve their life and not take time out of their life. For example, smoking, alcohol, drugs, that will waste their time. For example, getting a new TV, getting something new for entertainment, which has a very short lifespan, right? Actually give them something that they will have their whole life. And this was a big mindset shift. How do you call this in English? Unterlassene Hilfeleistung? Like,
You withholding help.
Yeah,
over
I mean,
there.
there's
a term
I
for that in
literally don't
Germany.
know the English term. Sorry, with German
In
native
Germany, this
speakers.
is actually like when you're accused of a crime when you do this. Like when you see an accident happen and you could go there and help people and you don't, you walk away. That's a crime. And
Yeah,
there is a term for that in English. We just don't come up with it.
yeah, I don't know it as well.
Yeah.
So you see somebody just had a car accident, and you just drive by, you just walk away. This is punished by law in Germany because you're not helping somebody while you were in a situation to actually help. I don't know if it's in the United States as well. I hope so. Definitely hope so. And this is pretty much how you should think about the people who want your coaching, who you could help, because, well, they don't know that they don't know how much your coaching will improve their life if your coaching is really good. And by this, well, you pretty much solve the problem of being afraid to charging them a lot, to getting rid of all the mindsets about and all the stupid beliefs about money, about the money they have, the money you have. And yeah, that's how I started quoting higher prices, because it's more about the belief that is in your mind. If you have the conviction, hey, this person needs this and I can help this person, then it's way easier to get rid of objections. Then it's way easier to sell it, because we are emotional, right? We mostly do things on an emotional basis. We only need a little logic at the end to rationalize everything. So most of the stuff is emotional. And yeah, like this, you pretty much handle this.
I have a pretty funny story for that. I mean, I've been telling this for years, but it didn't sunk in completely until something happened when I was with a friend in Sweden. And we walked through the metro in Stockholm. And Stockholm is a very rich city in Sweden, which is a very rich country. So them having homeless people in the first place was already confusing to me, but they had. And there was this one girl who was maybe a couple years, maybe 2 years older or 2 years younger than me, somewhere in that range. And she was obviously a homeless person because we saw her sitting in the metro in the same spot. And I walked past her, and at this point, the iPhone 5S came out like a year ago, and the 6 was new. And I walked past her for the third or fourth time because we always had to take this metro to get where we were going. And I realized she pulls out an iPhone that is newer than the one I'm using. So a homeless person can afford to spend the money on an iPhone that is more modern than the one I'm using in Sweden. And that's when it clicked for me. Like, people will spend the money on crap they don't need. Would she have been happy with an older phone? Yeah. Functionally, yes, of course. If you would have, however, gotten her to the point where she invested 200, 300, 400 euros in a coaching that would have taught her, I don't know, how to get more money out of the people she's begging for money, or actually get off the street, get a job, and build a new career, because there's clearly just some limitations in her head that are missing there. If you approach people on the basis that you just setting them up for success, or relieving them of blockages that they've been cowering from for years and suffering from for years, then, like, we're not doing this video for people who want to sell people into debt or gambling on the phone. Obviously, this is for people who actually provide value. But as soon as you provide any type of value, you have to do this, because otherwise you don't get the right people. You have to get. There will still be fear in the first time you raise your prices and actually quote it, but you have to
always be fear, right? I mean, there's always a next level.
Yeah, that's true. But you have to get, in order to get to the next level, you have to get comfortable with the fact that there's going to be fear, and with feeling it because you're doing it for a higher purpose. You're doing it in order to get the people quicker to the next level and get more people to the next level. And you also had the question how I got the phone numbers. I mean, I didn't even answer that. I just super easy. I literally just went on a full-blown social media offensive. Still am right now. We're starting it in English, obviously, as you can see. And I built a solid brand for myself in Germany by just posting on YouTube every day, by posting a podcast every day, by posting on Instagram every day. And literally, I mean, every day.
Were you doing the podcast in the beginning already?
No, I started doing it, and it was the best thing I ever did. In the beginning, I literally only did YouTube and released a new video every day. And you know what I did? Completely retarded, not knowing anything about online marketing, about landing pages, autoresponders, Facebook ads. I just recorded a video every day, or I record them in bulk and then released a new video every day, just telling them, hey, you know what? I want to help you. I offer a free coaching session for 30 minutes. Just write me an email here or add me on Facebook. I didn't have anything for them to sign up. I just told them, write me on Facebook. Write me an email. I just because that's all I knew how to do with Final Cut, like how to enter the text of the email address. And people wrote me, and I just with their goals, problems, or what was on their mind right now. And I blatantly told them, hey, you know what? Let's talk on the phone right now. And on the phone, it's easy because you can ask questions, you can listen. What are their fears, their desires, and well, then you can sell them into coaching. And that's the thing. It's pretty easy if they watch a couple videos of yours. Dan Kennedy, I think, always said it. Let the heavy lifting get done before they even get to you.
Yeah, that's very important. And I have a funny story for that from yesterday, actually. But
all right, so by just watching a couple videos of you, or back then watching a couple videos of myself, they were already sold. Because they noticed, okay, I've watched 7 videos of this guy. Each video is 10, 15 minutes. Each video was great. Answered some of my questions, delivered value. All right, now they're actually informed. And an informed buyer is always better than an uninformed buyer because you don't have to do as much. They already have information. They already have data. They already know what you're doing. And now they just come to you with a couple questions. And it's way easier to get rid of those couple questions than starting at 0 and getting them through the whole process. Why you are an authority, why you can help them, why you have social proof, why they should trust you. It's like doing all of this in person. Sure, it's doable, but why spend the time? Just let all of this get done by social media, by releasing something on Facebook every day, by releasing something on Xing or LinkedIn every day, on YouTube, on Instagram, on podcasts. Right now we pretty much release something on almost every platform every day. YouTube is the only one we don't do daily right now, but besides that, daily. And people love it. People can't get enough of it. And back then, it's the same. It's pretty much the same process, but with a couple steps in between, right? That people don't talk to me first, but to other people from my team. And besides that, it's the same. Get them on the phone. See if you can help them. And if you can't help them, well, say them and send them to somebody else. Like I would do it as well. If we really notice, hey, for your goal, we're not the right people. So go there, or sorry, we can't help you. And it happens rarely, but, it happens rarely, but yeah, that's pretty much it. You get them on the phone, and then you can talk to them because you need to know stuff about them. You need to know what their goals are, what their fears are, and then you can show them how your coaching will help them. And then once they're in the coaching, once they're in the 3, 6, 9, 12-month coaching program, they will get insane results.
Easy as that, right? So 2 things I want to get into. 1, content quality, because of a lot of people of you, if you're starting out, will be fretting about that. And the second is how much selling do you really need to know how to do in order to do this? So let's do selling first, because we can wrap this up. What happens inside the phone conversation, that's where we are right now. And then go into what the quality of content is, because both things are going to surprise you. As you just said, if people have watched videos of you, you don't have to do much work. There's psychology behind that goes way beyond what you actually put in the videos, because people always have the little watcher in their head watching themselves do the things they do during the day. So once they have this little watcher telling them, hey, yeah, you watched 5, 6, 7 videos of this guy, it doesn't even matter how good they were. It doesn't even matter what the specific bits of input were that they rationally get out of it, or whether they whipped out their notepad and took some notes. Actually, if you deliver too much content, that can be detrimental, because now they don't want to go on a coaching with you because they think, I already have...
Oh, I would disagree with that.
I will give you a frame for that, because here's what happens if you teach too much in a coaching session or in your content. If you then ask for them to sign up for it, and I did this in the beginning because they delivered a whole course for free. They were like, yeah, no, I don't want to go on the phone with you. I already have homework for the next 6 weeks. I have too much work to do. I'm like, it's especially hard if you try to sell a program afterwards without getting on the phone. I guess if you get on the phone, it's always an escalation of levels. But in this case, for me, I had to actually deliver less content. So if you're thinking you have to deliver like 20 hours of content before you can reasonably ask for a sale.
No, hell no.
You really don't need to do that.
Yeah.
And when you're on the phone with them, what you're really just doing is you get to know them, because they already think they know you. That's the second process.
Yeah.
A, they watch themselves watching you. B, they filled in the gaps and built a picture of you in their head.
Yeah.
And they build a relationship to that picture. So what you just need to do is allow for them to actually feel like you now putting in the effort to build a relationship with them. So what's your process after that, once you have them at this point in the phone call?
Before I get to the sales call, I would disagree with you on one thing, like just release as much content as possible, because they can't get enough. I know what you mean in terms of when they're in the program. Yeah, don't overwhelm them. That's true. But before that, I release as much as possible, because if somebody watches, for example, a 2-hour video of you or something, it's not even a big. It's a no-brainer to sell them. Once they're on the phone with you, yeah, you pretty much influence them over 2 or 3 hours, and then you just get a call for 20 minutes and they're in.
But would you teach for 2 hours straight, or do you actually mix it up with the things that you usually do, entertainment and interviews? And
Yeah, I mean, it's both. I mean, the entertainment comes naturally with time, right? The more comfortable you are in front of the camera, the more entertainment naturally comes. But yeah, that's something that's called more advanced. Like in the beginning, just release a lot. And in terms of what actually happens on the phone, right? First of all, ask a shit ton of questions. Everything. What are their goals? What are their fears? Have they had any experience with coaching? And also ask some leading questions. Why do they trust you? Why do they actually want to get coached by you? Because like this
specifically.
Yeah. Because like this, they rationalize it to themselves. They pretty much tell themselves. If you tell them, hey, why do you want to work with me? Oh, because of this. Okay, why do you think I can help you? Oh, because this, right? They've seen a couple videos of yours, or listen to podcasts or whatever, so they already know how you can help them. Now they just have to retrieve it back out of their mind. They're like, oh yeah, right, this. And this is pretty much the whole process. I mean, I ask a lot of questions. What do they want to achieve? What are their fears, their problems? What are their goals? What are their biggest desires, their strengths, their weaknesses? Why can I help them? How can I help them? Then I map everything out for them, how this coaching will work for them. I future pace. I build a picture and I paint a picture in their mind. What will happen in the next couple of months? How this will change your life?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you need. I always say both. You need the rainbow to walk towards you, and you need the angry pit bull almost biting your ass that you have to run away from. So create both of it. Like, what will happen if they don't do the coaching? What will happen if they do the coaching? And or as Jordan Peterson puts it very, very nicely, paint their heaven and their hell. Right? If everybody knows what could happen what could happen with your life if your bad habits, your bad attitudes, your bad beliefs get a hold of you over a couple months. You know how bad life can get if you really lose control over yourself. But you also know how much more you could achieve in your life if you get a hold of your good habits, of your good mental attitudes, of the good part of your personality, if you actually improve yourself on a daily basis. We all have this picture in our mind, so make it vivid for them, paint it for them, show them how the coaching will work for them, make it a little more logical, like lay it out for them, and also show it in writing. Right? If you have a presentation, do it, because people need to see something in writing or on paper. If they don't have it's just you're telling them something. Everybody can tell something, can say something. But if they have it in a presentation on paper with data, with stats, also show them social proof, show them testimonials of other people you worked with, videos, like get all of this in there, right? The six pillars of influence from Cialdini, the different influence factors. Get all of them in the videos and in the coaching call as well. Well, and then close and tell them, hey, this is the price. Oh, also name the price early. That's very important. Don't just drop the price at the end. In the beginning, right now I have 10 clients, and I only work with 12 clients. All of those clients right now pay me 1,900 euro per month for 6 months. So the coaching program is like this. So what do you actually want to achieve in the coaching program, right? Drop it right in the beginning. Just as a side note, drop it right in the beginning, because
even before you get to know them.
Oh yeah, right in the beginning. Sure, I mean, you want them to know, right? You don't want them to be all hyped up and at the end, oh yeah, this and this price, and they're like, because then you have to deal with it. Then you have to, if they know it from the beginning, and then you actually show them what this will do for them and what will happen if they don't do it. Way easier, way better, way better. And like this, a lot of times I just get the response, cool, when do we start? Sometimes I have to do a little digging, right? Get rid of some of the beliefs. And what also helps a lot is actually doing some math for them, right? Showing them how this investment will come back to them in a couple of months, even 10-fold, 100-fold over the next couple of months, couple of years. And that's pretty much it, what I do on the phone. I always say like this, in terms of coaching, you don't want to do the super hard selling, because if it's difficult to get somebody in a coaching program, it's also difficult to keep him in the coaching program. It's very, very difficult, because coaching is not something that you want to like push super hard on people. Of course you need to sell. Of course you need to know how the mind of the buyer works, how the sales process works. You need to all know all of that. Like, don't be one of those bitches who tell themselves, oh, I'm above that. I don't need that. I don't need that. Don't do that mistake. But you shouldn't be at a point where you're on the phone and you really need to sell somebody really, really hard into the coaching, because think about this. You're going to work with this person over the next couple of months.
Yeah. He's going to be in your calendar, and you're going to be like, oh no, this guy. You're going to feel dread the whole day beforehand, maybe even 2 days beforehand, and maybe the same day afterwards. Nobody's worth that, because it will influence the quality of your work afterwards.
Yeah. You know what I like to do with this? Challenge the close. I like to challenge it like 2 or 3 times. When they tell me, oh yeah, cool, let's start. I'm like,
yeah, that's the good stuff. I saw it from Dan Locke a couple of days ago in the video, where he was like, "Are you really sure? Like, you don't sound really sincere." Yes, I'm sincere. I really want to do this. Okay. And then you go about the payment, and then again, like, are you really sure you can afford this and sleep well at night? Yes, I get it. And they will sell themselves on it without you doing any high pressure tactics. You're actually just asking the question.
yeah. And the thing is, I had a couple clients as well who then I noticed, well, yeah, it wasn't right for them. Right? If you really, really ask him a couple times, if they say yes, and you notice, I mean, listen to your intuition. If you're a people person, listen to your intuition. If you're not, well, work on your social skills and your intuition. Definitely, you need this for sales, and you get this by doing a lot of sales calls and by listening a lot. Like this, they are even more sold. On the one hand, they're even more sold, or on the other hand, you notice, oh, it wasn't really for them. They were just saying yes to be polite, or because they were afraid to say no. So,
and once they get on the phone with you, they never call you back, and you never.
Yeah, that's actually something that happened to me in the beginning, where I was selling super, super hard. People said yes, and great, cool, we're gonna start then and then. And yeah, I never got a hold of them again. They were just ghosting. They were gone, and you don't want this to happen, because it's just a waste of time, right? And that's pretty much it, I guess.
If I can interject right there, because one thing that from listening to you right now, I'm overwhelmed by the amount of things you just listed, and so I think many of you might be, because if you're a coach, this was a huge list of things, and typically if you have a good mentoring program where you learn these kinds of things and you apply every week, it will take you 6 to 8 weeks to actually get decent at everything that he just said.
But that 6 to 8 weeks is nothing. I mean,
that's compared to a whole life of earning 20 times the income per hour, or 10 times the income per hour. So think about that in terms of investment. Number 2, it's way more important that you start right now with 10-15% of what he just said in terms of frames correctly set, and things in your head that you keep in the back of your mind and sometimes get to and sometimes not. Because what will happen is this: you get on the phone and you maybe only close every 6th or 7th time that you actually get on the phone.
Yeah.
So you get better and better over time. But if you never go on the phone, you will never get better, and you will never get to the point where you remember all those things. So this is not a skill where you can prepare and cram like for an exam and then you have everything in your head, because if you have to remember it and you're mentally just going through the script like you're reading a phone book, what you're actually doing is you're not being authentic, and the people on the other side of the line will totally feel that.
Oh, that's a big thing, by the way. The being authentic, it's the groundwork of everything.
And it is, and it makes it so much easier, because you actually don't have to pretend that you believe in what you're saying. You actually believe in what you're saying, and later on you will see exactly the results, even if it's your first. I was already.
If you don't believe in what you're selling, just stop. Just stop this video. Just sit down and think about. No, for real, and think about what you're actually selling.
Yeah.
If it's because there are 2 reasons: either you're selling shit, or you're not seeing the good stuff you're selling. That's it. Either you're selling, I think. Evan Pagan, I said it in a seminar once. Who of you selling shit in a box? Come on, be honest. Well, if you're selling shit in a box, stop. I think we don't have to talk about this. And if you're not selling shit in a box, if you're actually selling good stuff, then you need to sit down and actually look at the good stuff that you're doing for people, because your focus, your mindset, is not at the right place right now.
And also, please rewatch this and take a good look, because we're talking about selling, and you might still have a negative impression of selling because
Everybody
you think
has. It's insane.
Yeah, and this is useless. It won't help you drop this connotation, drop this mindset, because what we mean when we talk about selling is the process of getting people to say yes internally and then verbally to something that they already want, that it is very obvious that they need it. Otherwise, they would have never gone to the process of watching your stuff, signing up for a coaching session, taking the time out of their day, and then listening to you for 40 minutes ramble on
It's a shit ton of time investment.
Yeah, it's a shit ton of mental investment, time investment, and also the emotional things that have to happen up until this point. The worst possible thing you can do to somebody that is already at the point where the mountain of things happened that got them to being on the phone with you is not closing them on something that makes their life better. And this is what we mean with selling. Actually structuring the conversation in a way that, you know, allows the person the easiest access to feeling like they can move forward, believing in themselves enough that they will achieve the growth that you know that you can deliver, and then actually being able to comfortably say yes and agree to the moving forward, and also actually moving forward, not just saying yes to get you off the phone.
People love doing that, by the way, as well. I mean, that's the quote, people love to buy, people hate to get sold. Right? If it's a product or a service that fits the person, if there's a message to market fit, perfect. I mean, I love getting sold on stuff that really helps my life, that really improves my life. Just look, for example, the gimbal that we bought like 2 weeks ago for actually, you can just maybe show it real quick, or just recording better videos. Like, they didn't have to sell me hard on this. I was just like, oh fuck, this is exactly what we need right now. Something like this. Or let's say different services, different service providers for my business. Yeah, if it fits, you don't have to sell me hard. But if I'm not really sure, if it's, I don't know yet if I need, and somebody sells me hard and harder and harder, a lot of times it actually creates, distance between you and the customer and the buyer. So
yeah. And by the way, what will also happen if you get good at this, and this is what I call luxury problems. I talked about this with a friend who also does phone sales a couple of days ago, and I experienced it myself. You get on the phone with people and they want to buy from you. They don't even care if they actually really need it. They're just committed to getting the last 5%, the last bit of an edge out of their life. True. That they already assume that you can provide from the content you put out there. So if you do 10% of that right and do it long enough, and we're talking weeks here, not years, then you will attract these people as well. And there you just walk in, and at the end you say, yeah, okay, it's this and this price. Great, where can I start?
Fun fact, I have 2 clients right now because I'm starting a new mastermind for 6 months. I have 2 clients right now who are just itching to get to mastermind. They, literally every session they're like, okay, when do you start it? It becomes a no-brainer at some point. And fun fact, in terms of social media, right? If you're not on social media and producing content, what the hell are you doing with your business? Just be on social media, get on there and produce content every day. It actually helps you to create better content, because the better you know your product, the better you know how to sell your product, the better you know the perfect customer, the better you can create videos for them.
Yeah, and I mean, we're 2 sides of the same coin here, because he says that and I have to sit here with a straight face, and I'm all on the inside I'm thinking, yeah, I know I should really do that, because we're now going to record a video in a bit where it's about the fact that I'm just starting out on social media. I did some stage presentations, but here's the thing. You're either a magician at a skill that is so noteworthy and so attractive to other people that you can do it from behind the scenes, and then quote large fees because you only show a case study, and then people go, oh, what, that's what you did? Okay, I want that too. And then you don't need that for a certain period of time and for a certain level of clients. Or you just be upfront about it. You actually talk about what you love talking about anyway, what you love doing anyway. And all of a sudden, you attract 100 times more people, and get to the perfect client and get them activating the parts of their brain that make them realize that you should work with them 100 times easier. So I am just starting to actually learn this and apply this to your business. So I'm guilty of that, but I also have the extreme benefit of being a serial entrepreneur with a huge backstory, that if I just tell this backstory, that's people go nuts and want to hire me immediately. And I can't talk about it publicly all the time, because basically I can't do that much one-on-one coaching.
I mean, that's the interesting thing. We went 2 completely different routes. I mean, you've been doing pretty much everything for 15 years, right? I mean, there's, I think, no business you haven't done.
Well, no online business.
No online business.
And nothing that is not like too shady
granted, I stayed away from anything related to very naked people.
It's called as you know if somebody gives you $1,000, you know how to create $100,000 out of $1,000. Pretty much something like this. I started with 0, and I was just okay. All I have is this camera. Oh, I didn't even have a camera in the beginning. I actually borrowed a camera from yes, true, from a friend of mine to record videos for the first couple weeks.
Oh yeah. Let's get into the segment of zero excuse policy, because
I actually wanted to get there as well, because I just thought, okay, we pretty much covered the basics. Get on social media, produce content, like a crazy person, and get the people on the phone. Yeah, that sounds easy, right? But what's actually holding people back? Well, it's mostly fear. Let's call it like this. It's just fear. It's fear of putting yourself out there. It's fear of creating stuff on the internet, which is going to be there forever. It's fear of calling people. It's fear of talking to people on the phone. I still remember when I was doing coaching for a year already, and I was used to doing calls every day. I just gave some phone numbers to a friend of mine just to tell him, oh yeah, sure, I can teach you sales, because he wanted to learn it, and he was literally shaking. And I thought, oh wow, this is how people react. Oh yeah, this is how I reacted in the beginning. I totally forgot. And here's the thing: there's no way around it. It's normal. I know it's
like the first time you talk to the cute girl or the cute guy in class he's talking to, whatever, or the first time you do something like a huge exam or an on-stage performance as a musician or something, you can't get the shaking out of it. You can just get comfortable.
Exactly. And there's no way around. You need to get, 10, 20, 30, 50 calls under your belt, 100 calls on your belt. And remember, it's not cold calling, right? You're getting them on the phone because they want something from you. You're offering them something. Hey, yeah, sure, let's talk on the phone for 30 minutes. So that's what I did in the beginning, just offering a 15 or 30 minute coaching session for free. And I was upfront. Hey, 30 minutes coaching for free, and if you like it, then maybe we keep on working together. If you don't like it, well, cool.
By the way, there's actually a way where you don't have to sell at all and you still get the results. I can talk about it in a minute, but it takes a lot more time. That's why we told you the easy way, so to speak, first.
Just to end this real quick. So it's fear. It's only fear, and it will always be there unless you face it. That's it. It doesn't matter if it's in terms of public speaking, in terms of creating content for social media, in terms of calling people, getting on Skype on a video call with them. By the way, way better do it on video, because like this you can see facial expressions and they can see your facial expressions, especially in terms of when there's silence, right? When you're quoting the price or you're closing, so when do we start? And then you shut up and you don't just listen to the reaction, you also see the reaction. You see them think. You just let them think. You just bite your tongue and you sit there in silence, because when they think, you shut up. It has to be so silent, so quiet around you that you can hear the gears grinding in their head. This is how silent it has to be when you are closing. And it's way better if you not just hear them, but you actually see them. Right? Like this, you can express yourself more as well. And you have eye contact. And when we have eye contact, we actually treat each other with more respect, and we treat each other more openly. And yeah, I know it's scary. I was scared shitless. The first time I saw coachings, I was shitting my pants almost. And I was also euphoric as fuck when I got my first coaching clients.
Yeah, you're literally dancing through the room. If you've never done that, do it.
Oh yeah, because you literally got somebody who from the internet to watch your videos, to call you, and then give you money. It's insane. And then the coaching begins, and the fun actually begins, because if you're doing, we can even expand this on not just coaching, but on all services that you provide. If you like the stuff that you do, well, then actually the fun begins, and now
you only have to do what you're great at, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Now it's the hard part, the selling and the marketing is over. Now I can actually do what I like doing, and that is pretty cool. And what can I tell you? Write down what you are afraid of. That's the first thing. Write down what you're afraid of. Accept the fear, and then get going, because, well, the only way to get rid of fear is to run straight towards it. I know it sounds harsh, it sounds difficult, but what else can I tell you? There's no magic pill to get rid of your fear of selling to people or talking on camera or producing stuff for social media. I still remember, I love the story. I did a coaching program 2 years ago. It was like a 9-month program where we had seminars every 3 weeks from different people. And at this point, I was the youngest in the whole. I was the youngest who made the most money. That was fun. It's like everybody was around 30 or above 30. I was 24, 25, around this time. I made the most money and had the biggest YouTube audience because nobody else had the YouTube audience. And everybody was like, man, how are you doing this? It's so amazing. And I just told all of them, well, you all have an iPhone, you all have a smartphone, start recording videos. And the amount of excuses that came out of there, I think we were 30 people for this 9-month program, and I still follow a couple of them. 5 of them built something for them. The rest just disappeared into nothingness. Why? Because they don't do shit. Literally. I still remember when I think it was the 3rd seminar out of, I don't know how many, 12 or something over a 9-month period. There was this one girl, every seminar she was talking about how she's going to start a YouTube channel, start recording. And the 3rd time I just couldn't stand it. I couldn't take it anymore. So I just pulled out my iPhone. Okay, cool, let's record the first video. And she was freaking out. No, not right now. I'm not ready yet. It's not perfect. I don't know what to talk about. And it's all those mindsets, all those beliefs that everything has to be perfect. No. What does Gary Vaynerchuk like to say? Go liberate yourself and fuck up on purpose. Well, there you go. Do exactly this. Or John Peterson, what he likes to say. Well, deliberately create bad work. Do something badly, because then you have something to improve upon, and you're not sitting there with nothingness. So,
yeah. 2 things on that. One. Because we need to really go into what kind of quality level should you shoot for in the beginning, and the answer will shock you.
Just get this thing, or whatever kind of smartphone you just start. Just it doesn't matter. It's gonna what's the quote? Quantity is senior to quality. So if you want quality, you need to get quantity. You need quantity to create quality.
Because what you're good at and what your people are gonna listen to most, you find out at take number 100, and you have to put it out there actually.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a no effort way to doing this, and we're going to get into it with the quality discussion. And we now taught you everything, or not everything, but like the top-down view and the 5-minute version of what you need to do in order to become pretty damn decent at sales.
Here's the fun thing, right? I just noticed it myself talking. I always feel like I'm the guy who's learning the most when I talk about this. It's like, man, the strategy behind it, it's retarded easy. It's stupid easy. But it depends on how the person is thinking about it, with the mindsets, the beliefs, the balls. The person. I mean, you need balls for this to just start and charge. I don't know, $1,000, $500 per hour, or actually just start doing. If you say, I don't want to do coaching, I want to do workshops. Well, cool. Last year I did one thing. It was really fun. I did a couple of workshops with only 10 people. Each of them paid €2,000 for a 2-day workshop. I just sat down with them for 2 days and worked with them for 2 days, 20K in a weekend. There you go. And it's a thing. Well, first of all, you only need 10 people, and if you know your closing rate, well, then I need to talk to 50 people, and there you go. I got 10 people paying me $2,000 for a 2-day workshop where I like working with them, and you need to have the balls to just ask for the price. It's literally just more. Tony Robbins always like to say it. Business is 80% psychology and 20% strategy. I would increase that to 90%, or maybe even 99% psychology, 1% strategy, because the strategies are out there. I mean, the strategies are not even secret. Just look at what other people are doing. Just copy what other people are doing. It's out there.
Yeah, I mean, you can book another €10,000 course on that, or 10 courses by €1,000 per thing, and waste 14 weekends in getting better in sales. Or you just go back through this video 20 times and really write down every single sentence and example that you get, because I literally went to a seminar where I was for 3 days watching to 12 or 14 different speakers where I actually paid attention for the whole thing. And one of the sentences he just said in this 10 minutes, maybe I later repeat which one, it was my main takeaway from this 3-day seminar. That was I think you actually said it exactly like the guy in the seminar said it. It was the question and how you phrase it, like, why do you want to work exactly with me? So you have the most compressed version of sales knowledge, and if you put it on paper and actually go through it, learn it, then you have everything you need. This is all mapped out. Sure, you will have questions to it, maybe post them in the comments or something, but this is the amount of work that is actually required to be 99% better than all the people who are starting out from scratch without having any strategy. And if you're really too scared, or if you think if you don't take action right now, you will never gonna do it, all you need to do is get on the phone with them, coach them for free for 20 minutes, and in the first 3 minutes talk about how busy you are because you have other clients, whether it's true or not. Just future pace yourself if you can't future pace them. Yeah. In the last 3 minutes, talk about the fact that you have to now cut this call short, even though you will love talking with them, because you have to get on other free coaching calls, whether it's your first scheduled call or not, because you should be busy in your head, because if you don't value your time, they won't. And in the last 3 minutes after that, listen to how in maybe 5 out of 10 cases, they will actually ask you what they can do to continue the conversation. And if you then can't ask for money, well, then you shouldn't be in this business, because, well, they just asked you to, they not only gave you permission, they asked you to sell to them. And for some people, it will seem like I just advocated lying to people. I don't. But you're lying to yourself that you can't do this stuff. So you're keeping yourself from having the reference experience. Yep. So if you're lying anyway, at least construct it in a way where you're talking about the things where you're going. You can even say, no, I'm going to be there very soon. And then you're not lying, because you're doing what you need to do. And this is like saying you're driving to a certain destination and you know where you want to go. So you talk about where this destination is. So nobody cares about how fast you're going to arrive. You just described what your process is. And this in your head and in the head of the person creates, in a lot more cases than no selling will do, the feeling of, okay, I want to be there. I want to be part of it. Give me more of that.
And here's the thing. You just said one very interesting thing. In the beginning, you have no clients, right? Maybe you have a couple clients already, then great, perfect. But the thing is, when you have no clients in the beginning, nobody wants to work with a coach who has no clients. So.
But you actually created the perfect solve, by the way, and I just realized this thinking about what we just said.
If you do what he did and get the people coming in from YouTube, and you just say, hey, write me an email if you want I do free coaching for 30 minutes. And you get people coming in, then what will you say in the first call? Yeah, I have a couple more coaching calls coming up in the next few days.
True.
Because that's true.
And gather testimonials right away. I mean, if they don't have the money or something, just say, okay, I'm going to coach you one more time and just give me a testimonial, and there you go.
Yeah, as Russell Brunson said it, you just need you need to do one guy really well, like you need to do one project or one client or one whatever service you deliver for free, really well, and document it. So you might have to do 2 or 3 if the first one was something that is not documentable, or the second one just had a nervous breakdown at the session, but then literally you had the worst luck in the world already, and then it's only 3. But after that, you can charge, because now you have reference experiences and you have testimony.
And the fun thing is, I mean, we didn't even get into all kinds of autoresponders or opt-in pages or really, processes.
Really caveman style.
I really caveman style the shit out of this. Just, okay, put content out, get them on the phone, that's it. And literally, today it's more sophisticated, but that's literally how I did it. That's literally how I scaled the business. That is how I built the business for myself. Retardedly stupid, just moving forward and going there where the fear is, because that's a great thing. I mean, I feel like a lot of online marketers are hiding behind the screen because they're afraid to talk to people. It's easier to actually program a campaign, an autoresponder campaign, or to set up an upsell process, which is something, if you get more sophisticated, you need it, do it, definitely, do it. Don't shy away from this.
Or partner up with people who help you with it.
I mean, like us, right? I mean, that's the fun thing. We both have completely different routes of doing business, and it's perfect synergy, which is amazing. And for me, it was always, okay, I have no idea about this, this whole software and technical stuff. So I'm going to do, I really don't. So I'm going to do, I'm going to learn one thing that I like doing anyway, working with people. I mean, if you're a coach and you don't like talking to people, think about your life choices. And I thought, well, I want to be a coach. I want to like talking to people. I like working with people. So, and
you also
master
like
sales.
That's the beauty of it. You like to learn, so everything you learn. It doesn't matter if it was sales. Doesn't matter if it was presenting. It doesn't matter if it was
actually delivering coaching in a better packaged way, you always were already getting out of it what you wanted before there was money involved, before there were crazy testimonials involved, before there was. And this is also, if you can have that mindset without faking it, you're going to be set up for success. And we can stop talking right now, because if you have the mindset, I'm doing this for the learning experiences, I'm doing this for myself, and it involves continuously getting better, you enjoy this from start to finish. Even the failures, because at some point you realize you can't learn even 10% out of a win of what you can learn out of a failure. 10% max. Because in a win, you can only see, okay, we didn't do this and that, but we split tested maybe a little bit by accident or something. So I know, okay, this doesn't work, but this one thing worked. But now you have to repeat the win and either fail at it in order to see that it doesn't work a second time, or that it doesn't work in a new area. Or you have to actually see that the same thing worked twice, and now you're really under pressure, because now you have something that really works, and if you don't make the most of it until it stops working, you're screwing yourself.
That's actually where it gets addicting. Once you notice, it's working. I still remember when it one thing I did was, maybe I should add this as well, when I released my first video course, which was $79, so not a lot of money.
Oh God, how much I had to talk you into.
Oh man, dude, yeah. I mean, I was the same, right? With just getting to raise the. I know the battle of all the mindsets, the fucked up beliefs, the but what if, but what if. But one
you
thing.
are actually lucky, but sorry to interject there. He has a special form of very helpful insanity. Like when you know him personally, he has
Very
these
helpful
things
insanity.
like an auto repeat. Like you can, if you meet him 5 times in a week, he will tell you the same thing going through his mind for the whole week, every single time, like it's new. And that for you, I think, leads you to actually make leaps and come to the point where you're too frustrated with it. You have to change something. You have to take action quicker than most people who can just take something, then shove it to the back of their head and never think about it again until it comes up the next time 5 weeks from now. With you, it's always there, so you grow faster than most people. And I think that's actually one of your superpowers.
That's interesting. Yeah, I never saw. I literally talk about the same stuff all over again until I change something. Oh boy, that's gotta be frustrating for you.
Oh yeah, it's horrible. But
like, we had this conversation 3 times this week. Here we go again.
This was beautiful when you moved to Bulgaria. Funny side story, by the way, because we weren't used to seeing each other that often. So we talked almost every day, and we had the same 45-minute conversation for a week, and then we switched what the contents of this 45-minute conversation was, but the pattern repeated. And this is actually what accelerated growth.
You were stuck in what's it called? Not Hedgehog Day, but the one move.
The Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day. You were stuck in Groundhog Day.
Bill Murray, we now have the same experience. I had in real life, your movies, but yeah, but the funny part of it was I could literally see it clicking in your head, because by forced repetition, you actually have to do the next level. If your brain doesn't stop until you do the next level, and you then file it away for the next one, you actually grow a lot faster than most people who just go, oh yeah, okay, I can shove this problem to be solved by later me. and later me won't be smarter than you. It will just be less emotionally motivated than you are right now to actually solve.
It reminds me of the scene from Simpsons where Homer is like at the fridge eating a piece of butter and downing a bottle of vodka or something, and Marge is like, Homer, this is I don't know, ruining your health and stuff, and Homer is just like, that's a problem for future Homer.
Exactly.
It's like, this is not my problem. This is a problem for future me.
Yeah, this was also in How I Met Your Mother. You know who's going to be great at solving this problem? Future Ted and Marshall. They're going to solve this. And literally most people approach their lives that way. They just assume that things will change enough, the pain will increase enough, or magically they keep doing the same thing, and things turn better by miracle, which is the definition of insanity, as we all know, to the point where something changes. What you have to do right now, after you get off this phone with this video, and we will continue a little more about what to do in the beginning, but you have to actually get off your butt. Take out your phone and record your first video. Doesn't even matter if you upload it, but just do it.
Oh, it does matter. Upload it. What the fuck? Of course.
Yeah, it does matter, but here's what I mean. Even if you hit record and then are silent for 45 seconds because you don't know what to talk about, at some point your brain will come up with saying something. And you might not want to upload the first 45 seconds of silence, but you can keep doing this for another 10 minutes. Maybe it will go viral. Did
you see this video, man? He's just staring to the camera but after that it gets great.
Yeah, you just have to go to minute 2, then when he starts talking, that makes sense.
Like you could literally just do voice trials. At some point, your brain will come up with something because you're getting yourself into the mode of, oh wait, I have an audience now.
Yeah.
But if you're not do this singer, we call this transitional steps, because they're not useful for the finished end product, but they are perfectly useful to getting a person from having the mindset of this being something he doesn't do to being the mindset gaining or to the mindset of doing. And this is how you get to doing, period. So after we're done, take out your phone, record yourself. If you haven't done it, just do it.
The gods are agreeing. There's thunder.
I mean,
they're like, good job.
more.
We like that.
I'm called Thorsten, so Thorsten actually means Thor's hammer. So my name is already invoking the power of the god of thunder. So obviously it has to be the truth.
My name is Alexander, so the name is Alexander, and it has nothing to do with that shit.
Well, you're the great.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, you're the powerful.
The great
combination. But here's one thing that comes to my mind as well in terms of social media. I mean, you don't even have to record video. I mean, because video or audio is not for everybody. You can also write. Let's say you're more introverted. Well, write a new blog post for every day for. I have a nice quote on my phone that I look at every day. Don't quit. I'm just gonna read it. Show up every day for 2 years. Like, don't quit. I just want to say don't quit. But show up every day for 2 years. Or in terms of this video, show up every day for 1 year. I literally recorded and uploaded the video on YouTube for a year every day.
There's the saying in the States, possession is 9/10 of the law. Showing up is 9/10 of success.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. The reason why people fail is why they stop too early and they don't do enough. And here's the great thing about social media. Social media is limitless. So if you really want to go all the way, release 3 videos per day. Nothing is stopping you. I mean, for real, it's not like somebody's going to be like, oh, it's too much. No, because not everybody's going to watch everything. You can put as much stuff out there as possible, as much stuff as you want to. And the more you do, like Arnold Schwarzenegger says, reps, the better you get at it. So right now, talking in the beginning, I was struggling. I think I had to do 20 or 30 takes for one video. Yeah. Now it's just, there's a camera. Like, whoa, really? Don't you? Wow, it's amazing. A camera.
It's very interesting because you don't have a camera persona. You're like the same guy in front of the camera that you are, but you have to switch on.
Yeah,
like,
no,
that's like the energy you put into it, right? Because when you're talking to a camera, by the way, we can actually say this because we haven't talked about this. You need to be a little more energetic than you usually are, simply because on the camera, the camera calms down. Like they say, camera adds 10 pounds, but the camera also calms you down. So if you're a little too low energetic, you can actually be more energetic.
So the camera makes you fat introvert.
Fat, boring introvert.
Just that. Like,
beautiful.
Wow. Right, except for this camera. This camera is great.
Oh yeah,
it's awesome.
This camera is great.
Because you're the best camera guy ever, Marian.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, now we would love to show this, but
oh yeah, he's just doing it. He's just doing it himself. He's like, yeah, that's me. And so yeah, I mean, just start doing it. Show up every day. And here's the thing. I mean, I had no money in the beginning, right?
I just remember what I wanted to say. I'm sorry. Can I really? Because
go ahead,
if it's this was about like putting out 3 videos a day, because most people think about YouTube chronologically, but almost nobody consumes it chronologically. And
YouTube doesn't even show it chronologically.
Exactly. You have to force it. You have to go to the channel, go to the video section, then say sort by age, and only then are people even capable of seeing what you uploaded in which order.
People don't even see. Let's say you subscribe to the channel, you don't even see every upload because you have to click on the little bell. And YouTube also changes the algorithm. And it's the same with Instagram. It's the same with every social media platform.
For me, this was actually a huge shift just now that I had. That's why I wanted to share this with you, because even I thought about it like, I'm putting out so much content. Am I not overwhelming or boring people? But it's bullshit. No. You can't overwhelm them. You can't bore them. You will literally not be able to get someone. And if you get somebody to the point that he consumes your stuff so addictedly that he goes chronologically through every single video of you, no matter what the topic is.
Sell him something.
Yeah. I mean, that's then basically you just say, hey, by the way, I have a way for you to give me money. I mean, that's the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, we have a friend, right, who we visited in Kiev, or who was there for a month. He pretty much did this, right? He pretty much did the same thing, right? In a month, he got to 100K or something. Matteo.
Yeah,
Right?
sure.
Friend of ours like just started releasing 2 videos a day and just told them, hey, you want coaching? Here you go. And started just calling people and made 100K a month.
Yeah.
It's like, there you go, done.
With stuff that is useful for the people and that will deliver them probably results in this area quicker than everything they consumed in the last 5 years of their lives, even if they followed content from other people or like generally went to coachings every single day, because the guy actually put effort in his coaching. And you put effort in your stuff. You just are putting effort in your stuff, because watching us and actually having not a hungover, having this playing in the background Saturday afternoon because you party till 4 o'clock in the morning on Friday night till Saturday morning kind of vibe, but you're actually present and you're maybe taking notes, or at least like trying to absorb as much as you want. You are putting energy in your stuff. You already, like, not to like go and you pat you on the back, but this is literally how you have to view the world. Most people don't do this stuff.
Oh, that is insane, yeah.
If you're doing this, and maybe do it also with the stuff that actually is about the topic of the content that you teach, you are already learning faster than the people out there who don't read an hour of books per year on average. I mean, how scary is that? And even just consuming YouTube videos over knowledge topics, by now you have to actually, or blog posts, by now you have to actually put it on the same level as reading books, because at least you're trying to grow. Most people don't do this.
I actually, to be quite frank, I actually prefer podcasts, YouTube videos and stuff over books, because it's conversational and we learn way better through conversation than through just, oh, somebody wrote this text and we're reading it right now. But if you listen, for example, to a podcast, right? Yesterday I listened to the Joe Rogan podcast again. Love it. It's like, I feel like, it clicks way easier because there's conversation. And for me, it's like, oh, I'm watching it feels like you're in it.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about advanced content strategies later, but one of the things you usually do when you want to make something longer interesting, right, is, you taught me this, is like making cuts in there and changing the scenery so people get engaged. But if you have a conversation, you don't need to do that, because people interact and you follow the interaction.
Not just if you have a conversation. That's the funny thing. Who did I learn this from? Unfortunately, I forgot. Let's say you're watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians, right? You watch conversation between 2 of them, and there's music. There's a new edit every 3, 4, 5 seconds. There are sound effects and stuff. Why? Because that's the only way they are able to keep people's attention, because the topic or the stuff that they're talking about is so mundane, so boring, so lame that people are not able to keep their attention on it. However,
sleep thinking about it.
Yeah, that's why, for example, if you look at all the viral YouTube videos or the viral videos that go viral, most of the time, very rarely they are videos with dense content. Mostly they are funny and cut together and edited. I don't know if you say cut in English, but edited together and working with a lot of effects, right? Just look at the YouTube trends. Just look at what's popular on Instagram, what's popular on Facebook. It's mostly done through the editing. Yeah. But people love stuff like this. I mean, it's no coincidence. If you look at the biggest podcasts out there, they're mostly long-form content with conversational style podcasts that are released on a weekly or month, sometimes even daily basis, where people talk about topics in a very deep and mesmerizing way, because we people need this. We love this. And that's the great thing. You don't just draw people in with this, they actually love it. And once somebody watched a 1 hour or 2 hour video of you, it's really no big thing to convince them of coaching. I mean, you just have to, or that's maybe a thing I should say as well, especially for long form content, mention the coaching or whatever you're selling again and again. Don't hard sell it. Sign up now, do this now. Just mention, oh yeah, I had this thing yesterday with a coaching client. We talked about this. Or as you know, like every Tuesday is my coaching day. So the next Tuesday it's going to be this and this. And if you, I have one interesting story from my coaching client who I talked to yesterday. You just
throw them out.
Throw them in.
It gets people to think about this in their heads, and it piles up. You know, if you have 4 interesting stories from coaching clients, which necessarily, of course, should all be true. But you can talk about them from the perspective of, okay, how do I talk through this interestingly? Just don't go that pen through the facts, but like make it like the vivid journey that the people actually experience. And if you do this 3-4 times, what will people hear from that? Okay, this guy talks to a ton of people. 2,
other people value what he's saying. 3, oh, I can actually see this growth process from the perspective of it being told. And I'm still listening to the guy, so obviously I believe it to some degree. Because, I mean, how many people do you know who listen to an hour or 2 hour conversational podcast just writing down all the stuff that they disagree with and hate? I mean, there's people who are that bored, but chances are there are hopefully very few people.
I had one of those a couple of weeks ago. He was great. He literally commented under 10 YouTube videos how much he hates me and what an asshole I am.
And it's perfect, by the way, if that happens. Don't be afraid of that.
Oh, if it doesn't happen, you're doing something wrong. Yeah. If you don't have haters, you're doing something wrong. And yeah, I think
Why is that perfect? Because now the people who like you will actually jump through your defense, and they will just look at that and go.
Oh yeah, and if you're not offending anybody, you're like Starbucks. Nobody is running to get a Starbucks coffee. Nobody's getting the tattoo of the Starbucks logo. You're average, and that's.
We're not trying to
boring.
Mock or say anything good about Starbucks.
Please don't sue us. Please don't sue us. Please.
But yeah.
So since we talked about a lot of the strategies right now, let's get into the math. Let's get into the fun stuff, the nitty-gritty stuff.
Right now.
And everybody's and back to YouPorn. It's like back to the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some mathematics actually, because cool, we told you how to actually release stuff on Instagram, YouTube, on social media. I always think about Instagram when I think about social media. So on social media, how to get them on the phone, how to close them on the phone, how to get your first coaching clients. Well, let's get into some math, and I would just keep on rambling. I would just say some stuff.
I just have an answer for you. You think about Instagram because it's the most social of the social media you use, the most interaction.
Oh, it's the most social there is right now. That's one thing I really hate about YouTube. Like, YouTube is amazing for long form video, right? There's no other player. Like, Instagram didn't do it with IGTV. Facebook is not that good for long form, but YouTube, the social aspect is really missing, unfortunately. But well, different topic. So let's look at the math, and the math is actually depending on how much you want to do, on how many clients you want to have, and how many other things you want to release or sell. Pretty easy. I mean, right now I'm at a point where my one-on-one coachings are booked solid. They pay 2,000 euros per month, and this is for half a year. So every year per client, 2,000 bucks. I sell online.
Wait, let's get the numbers straight, because you just said every year 2,000 bucks. No, it's 2,000 a month. That means 12 for half a year.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like every month, every client.
So you get one client, and he pays what usually for people who have a very bad working condition, at least in Germany or something, is already a yearly salary. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. For half a year.
Which gives you a lot of cash flow, which is good, because then you can work with it. Besides that, I have online courses ranging from raging. They are raging. I have a raging online course. They are ranging from 300 to...
Actually, the people are raging in
they are.
Your online courses.
Oh, yeah.
That's because they're really happy about it.
Oh, yeah. My meditation course, it's an 8-week course where I guide them through. Man, the wait list is insane. So, they're ranging from 300 to 700 euros. I sell them. I have a book out, which is a bestseller. And, of course, depending on how much you want to do, how many products you want to release, how many coaching clients you want to have, you will get to different mathematical equations. And the first thing I would tell you, if you want to get to 250,000 euro per year or $250,000, I'd suggest 250,000 euro, because that's more. Right? Math, genius right here.
Yeah, now people watching this in half a year, and the dollar and the euro somehow turned upside down.
I hope not.
They're gonna get hate comments, man.
I sure as hell hope not. Like, I'm gonna sue you, Alex.
You lied on video.
Oh man.
Something on the internet is not true. Oh my God! Hold the presses.
So one thing I actually got from it's pretty easy from one of my first coaches as well. Just make a simple list. How many hours per week you want to work? How many clients you want to have? How much you need to charge them to reach your goal. Let's say you want to make 10K, 15K, 20K, 30K per month. How much you need to charge them, and literally just make a list, right? Of, let's say, I think I started back then with 12 clients. I wanted to have 12 clients, so I make 12 brackets, and I filled them up every week when new clients entered. And like this, you can pretty much break it down into math. Okay, if I want to make 10K per month or 20K per month, I need this many clients. Let's say I need 10 clients who pay me 2,000 bucks per month, and I coach them twice per month or 3 times per month for an hour and this for half a year, and there you go. This is pretty much your mathematical plan. You can also do a lot of, you're not happy with that? You're like,
Oh, I'm perfect. I'm actually thinking through what I'm going to say next because I'm going to talk about the funnel.
yeah, because that's pretty much, I just want to lay out the roadmap if you don't know where to start. And for those people who think, well, that's easy for you to say, charge $2,000.
Oh, yeah, because
Well,
they think he has superpowers and
What,
he's a magician, right?
yeah, for real, what's holding you back to charge $2,000? What the fuck do you expect? Why not?
I mean, let's be really sarcastic about it, and I'm gonna play Advocatus Diaboli here, so the devil's advocate basically. This guy is 27. He never achieved anything in terms of a normal career where people go have
Thanks,
their.
bro.
In terms of a normal career, you never.
achieved anything.
In terms of a normal career, like
yeah,
you
that's
never
true.
got a job at a big corporate concern and talked about like
Nope.
like this kind of stuff.
Not
You
my
never
cup of
turned
tea.
your degree into anything like this. So everything you can do in your head that would keep you from actually going to the point where you can sophisticatedly coach and charge these prices with a good feeling, being comfortable about it,
Yep.
is just in your head. You don't need
100%.
The qualification you need is the topics you can own and talk about.
Oh, here's one funny thing. Like, people who do coaching programs, oh, I got a certificate now. I'm allowed to charge $200 per hour now. Okay, first of all, who are they to tell you how much to charge? Why do you need a certain certificate? And whose certificate the guy who is giving you the certificate?
Funny story about certificates. Should we actually tell this, or it's already too good? I mean, at least in Germany, and I guess so in the States, everybody can print out certificates. You can make them look whatever they are. You just can't fake that it's from a state institution.
Yeah, you can just say, oh, here's your certificate.
Yeah, and you're now a certified consultant for blah. I know a couple of people who do this. Like, literally, I don't have any qualification, but I give you a certificate that you have a qualification by listening to whatever I told you that you now are capable of doing.
Yep.
And like accepting the certificate. So everything in this card is just institutionalized belief, and that's what they're useful for. If you want to make a career where people filter through institutionalized belief shortcuts, that's what certificates and degrees and whatnot are, then fine, be my guest. But for coaching, it's about what you can deliver and what you can get other people on camera, or at least in writing, say that you can deliver, and be convincing in your presentation about the fact that you know that you can get them the results, because you know you can get them the results, period.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be trying to learn how to present yourself better as a coach, how to make this kind of money with doing what you love and spending most of your time doing what you love, if you wouldn't be able to be good at it, or at least good at some part of it, good enough to charge the perfect candidate. And I think one of the mindsets that we still haven't covered, but it's really important, think about the perfect person for yourself, and don't go into overwhelming detail. Just think, okay, there's a person which has enough money, but exactly the problems and a huge pain from those problems that you know how to solve, and you know the money is not the issue. Now, would you feel comfortable quoting whatever you want per client in the list that he just made you do for this
Funny
person?
enough, I got exactly those people. They call it the avatar, right? Create your avatar. For me, those were online entrepreneurs. Online entrepreneurs who are finished with the money problem. Like, they have more money than they can spend, and now it's just about improving their life, finding their purpose, getting more personal development, and especially emotional development. And
Because guess what? They suck with women, they suck with relationships, and they suck with pretty much everything else that doesn't involve the social skills they really need at work if they're running a big business. They don't have time to develop them. It's not that they're sucky people,
exactly,
but it's true.
exactly. Like 100% of my clients, or 99% of my clients right now, are people who either have a business or an online business, who are traveling the world, who are digital nomads, who need more emotional intelligence, who now suddenly found out, money doesn't solve all my emotional issues. And there you go. Now there they are. And there are people who are into what's called Amazon FBA, like selling products through Amazon. They are into drop shipping. They have their own little niche online stores. They have, one client has 4 companies. So they have, like Russell Brunson says, real businesses, right? They have real businesses really selling physical products offline. And one of them is a real estate broker with like 25, 27 real estate investments. So he's financially completely done. And he literally just came to me, hey, you're the best in Germany. Who else would I go to? I need more emotional development. I hadn't had any time over the last 8 years because I was busy building my business. So now I have the time. When can we start? And
I mean, this is
Yeah.
the thing. Yeah. What are the three things they actually come for you for? They come for compressed time in learning. They come for your personal emotional intelligence, to see them as a person and see exactly what they need to hear next and giving them that shortcut. And they come there because they need somebody they can be completely open and upfront of their shortcomings with, because they can't do it in their normal social lives. For their family, they're the idol, a successful guy, or they're the guy who everybody goes to if they need a loan or some money for something.
Yeah.
For their friends, they're the successful hotshot businessman, if they have friends. And sadly, you wouldn't believe how often it's the truth that they have very few or no friends whatsoever. Sometimes they have a great network, and sometimes if they're more geeky and successful, they have friends, but none of them that they actually really trust. And there's a reason for that. You can fix that as a coach.
True. There's one thing comes to my mind. I was at an entrepreneur conference or workshop for 70, 80 people in Germany. And it was one of the youngest there, because it was more for people who are around 30 to 50 years old. They all had their big businesses. And there was one guy who was very interesting. I think he was 45 or something. He was a multimillionaire. He didn't need to work anymore. He had a team of a couple hundred people. He had a factory, which is very interesting to talk to somebody like this who literally has a big ass factory, right? Not an anonymous, but a factory. And he told me, this is finally a spot where I can talk about my problems.
Because everybody else assumes you're Superman, you have things figured out, and you don't have the right to be human anymore. You don't have the right
not just
to be
that. He just didn't have any entrepreneur friends. He just had normal friends and people who have a normal job. Nothing wrong with that, but you can't talk to them about your problems.
So basically what we're saying is people with money do have problems too, and once you fix your own inner game problems, where you don't believe in yourself enough to quote the right kind of prices, where you think you still need to learn so much more in order to qualify, in order to talk to them, we just told you that 2 out of the 3 components that you do have nothing to do with how qualified you are. They have to do with how much you listen and how much are you actually willing to let them be themselves.
Exactly.
And still appreciate them for who they are. And the other thing is, you're here because you're willing to learn, you're on a trajectory, you're growing. So if you pull in somebody that you can't help perfectly right now, what's you gonna do? If you're honest about it, you just say, hey, you know what? I have some ideas about it, and I have 2 friends, or I have something that I want to consult about it. I get back to you with something better than what I can tell you right now. In the next session, let's talk about the 2 other things that are on your list. Who doesn't want a coach like that? Like, which doctor do you want to go to? The guy who always pretends like he immediately knows what you have the second he looks at you, or the guy when you know that 3 people already misdiagnosed you because they did just that, actually says, you know what, this could be something very exotic. Let me actually go through the list of symptoms you have that we just documented. Now we'll get back to you in 3 days with a perfect solution where I know you don't get a treatment that you don't need or a medication that doesn't help you. Who do you want to be and who do you want in your life? The answer is the same. You want the guy who actually puts in the time to research. If you have that last mindset, even the third thing goes away. You're never not qualified enough because you're willing to get the qualification on the go. And nobody will come to you and humiliate you and reject you just because you don't know the perfect answer to one thing out of the sudden. That's not why people get coaching. They get coaching for the idea of getting shortcuts. And when they can outsource getting the shortcut to you, they're just as happy as if you already know the shortcut.
Yeah, there are endless reasons why people get coaching. Endless of them.
True. And those are the 3 things that I think that most people actually don't think they should get into coaching full time and take the prices that they want and be able to deliver to high level people. But of course.
Oh, no, what I meant, why people buy coaching, you know, there's so many reasons.
Don't actually be presumptuous in assuming that you know why the people buy this coaching. I mean, just because you're known for thing X, but you doesn't mean that this is the reason they come for you.
There's one thing, super interesting that you say that. I think I could have scaled my coaching business way quicker, way easier, if I didn't have one belief. And this is going to come as a shock. I'm shocked that I believe this myself. I didn't invest into Facebook advertisement or PPC advertisement or Google ads or whatever, because I never bought something through those advertisements and therefore assumed nobody else ever bought something through this.
I don't buy from home shopping TV, so therefore I assume the 20 billion industry of
anybody
home doesn't exist.
Who has any idea about marketing at the video right now is probably screaming at the screen right now, "You idiot!" And that's why I started doing it last year. So before that, I literally did what
Actually,
we...
in the last couple of months, to be fair, last year was an
Yeah,
experiment.
last year was more like, last couple months. And like this, and now it's just, okay, I need more coaches in my team, too many people. So yeah, that's actually the funny thing. If you even have if you have money to spend for advertising, oh, hell yeah, do it. If you don't have, well, no matter what, you follow the process that we just laid out for you. And I want to get into the math a little bit because I started with it in terms of the clients. For me, it was always a goal to reach the 10K mark
And it's
per
a
month.
very common goal, I think. Most people actually, there's a study that says that 10K per month is, or like 100K per year is very deeply associated with a feeling of wealth and financial freedom.
Oh yeah.
Because essentially, even after taxes, it usually means that whatever your current lifestyle is, you can do 1.5 times that, unless you're very close to 10K already, of course. You can probably like add 50% of it, and the other 50% you can spend in savings, and you still have a better lifestyle, B, more money saved. So I guess this is where this comes from.
Yeah, I guess so. And what I did was just writing down how many hours per week I want to work. How many hours per work I want to work. I want to work 0 hours per hour of work.
By the way, if you read Tim Ferriss's 4-hour work week, that stuff gets boring too. So don't assume how little you want to do.
Oh yeah, I
this
would
was
say
actually
the
my
opposite.
belief for me.
I would say quite the opposite. I
If
feel
you
like
do what you love. Shit, man, don't force me to only do it for 8 hours a day.
pretty much for me it was like the more success I got, the more I did it. The more, or let's put it this way, the more money problems or thinking about money went out of the equation, the more time I actually worked. The less I had to worry about money, the more content I started to create, the more I worked with clients, the better my work got, because suddenly the money was an afterthought. That's an insane mindset shift. So sit down, how many hours per month you want to work, how many clients you want to have, what's your financial goal, and how much you have to charge them per month, per half a year, per year. I mean, for me, it's get them in a longer coaching program. For 2 reasons. First of all, you have cash flow secured. Second of all, they get better results. I mean, it's obvious. If you're a good coach and somebody works with you for 9 months, they should be further ahead in their life than after 3 months. If not, you're doing something wrong, or you have the wrong client who's not implementing. For this,
2, they will leave for the wrong reasons at the wrong points of time. They will leave when they need coaching the most, just because they have like a very short financial trouble, or they break up with their spouse and think they can't focus on it. That's actually when they need help the most, but they leave then. I mean, so save them from themselves and allow them to subscribe for something longer than, let's say, 1 hour or 4 hours.
oh yeah, always get them, because you can't get any results from a fucking hour. Period.
And even if you get results from a fucking hour, the real results for the lifetime being come from having that hour, then implementing, then getting the results, and then in the next session talking about the results, reflecting on it with the person who delivered them, then improving upon that, and then seeing the next level of growth. Because once you see yourself perpetually growing, and now I am in a coaching perspective, that's when you realize you can also grow on your own. Otherwise, they will just attribute the little bit of growth they had to you, and they still might feel like a failure afterwards and never continue growing. And what's your goal with this? You want people who go on an upward trajectory. You don't care how much time you have to spend with them to get them there if you really love the process, as long as they're moving.
Here's the goal as a coach, the mindset that I always implement. It's your goal is to make yourself useless.
Yeah.
And you can't make yourself useless in an hour. You make yourself useless by actually working with a client for half a year, for a year. I have one client, or I had one client, Dennis, who actually had an Amazon FBA business. I worked with him last year, and we started to work together for 6 months. And for him, finances, business, he was done. For him, it was more like, okay, what the hell am I doing now? What do I actually want to do with my life? What do I actually want to do with my money? What kind of lifestyle do I want to have? What actually fulfills me? And we had a 6-month coaching. We wrote down the goals we want to achieve, and he canceled after 4 months, because he was like, all right, we're done. Like, our 6-month goals, we are done. 4 months in, okay, you know what do we do now? And I said, well, great, let's stop. You're done, because 2 sessions in a row, we literally talked about nothing, because he was living the lifestyle he wanted, get the girlfriend he wanted, the purpose he wanted, the money he wanted, the friends he wanted, the new project he started that he loved. And well, you don't get this by just working with somebody for a day, for a week, for a month. You need longer periods of time. Another client I like to think about,
By the way, don't get scarcity mindset at this point because, oh my God, I could be too good in order to deliver to people.
Oh, believe me, I got more than one new client from him.
Yeah. There's no better success story than, hey, I booked a 12-month coaching with this guy, and after 6 months, I already got all the results. Hey, thanks, man. You're awesome. And he even let me out of the contract early. You can even give this as a guarantee. If we
Of course, you should. I mean, that's your goal.
We should actually talk about guarantees because they're very important.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing. I mean, why keep him in the... Oh, no, you're going to pay for 2 more months, motherfucker. But, dude, I'm done. Oh, I don't care.
Best future pacing. It's awesome, and it's the best future pacing in the world. If you say, you know what, I had a couple of clients take me up on this in the last couple of months. I give if you're successful too much, then I throw you out of the coaching guarantee. Here's how that works. Because obviously you need to get people to have the habit to grow by themselves, of course. That's one of the thing. And the other thing is you have a realistic but unrealistic at the same time set of goals laid out in the beginning, because it has to be a little unrealistic for the guy, otherwise they just set the bar too little. Unrealistic also in the sense of they can't completely believe that they can get it by themselves, so it will always be a little bit hidden, shrouded in mystery, but that's what you're there for. You know what results people can actually deliver, get in 6 months. So once you have this written down, if you deliver it in a shorter period of time,
I mean,
you're the hero.
Yeah, it's not like, oh boy, what now? No, that's the perfect. Imagine here, I have a 1 hour testimonial of him. A 1 hour testimonial.
You can cut that into like 20 testimonials and still get your money's worth.
For real, he told me for almost, I think 45 minutes or 50, 60, almost an hour of him pretty much talking about the whole coaching, how it changed his life. It's pretty much the number. What Russell Brunson? You only need one good case, and this is the best testimonial I have because he's the perfect example. He implemented, he got great coaching, so there you go. So write this down. How many clients do you need? How many hours per week do you want to work? How many hours per week you want to work? Why am I always saying that? How many hours per work you want to work? I got this from, as a very, very inspirational side note, from one of my first coaches, Craig. He doesn't work every Friday, and he takes off every 4th week of the month. He's like, fuck that. I work on my own. I don't want this. I only coach from Monday to Thursday, and his whole calendar is just full of calls, full of coaching clients, either sales calls or clients he already has on board. Then he gets them, of course, as well into a couple-month contract. Always do everything in writing. You need to do that. And get paid on the phone first time, because everything they say is a lie until you get the money. Everything they say is a lie until they paid. And
now there's a caveat to this. Of course, there are clients who are still, like, not everyone will be a liar, but everything.
I'm not saying it's just a mindset that I have, because I can tell you some funny stories about where people fucked me over because I was too nice to them. And I'm going to tell just as not that you have to be an asshole to your clients, or that you assume that you can't trust anyone. But I have 2 stories that I want to share with you who are insane. Get them on the phone, show them the coaching, get them in a contract for a couple of months, because it's better for them, it's better for you, and don't worry about getting too good results. I mean, if you have this problem that you're getting too good of results, then just triple your prices. That's
Tell the story, triple your prices.
Yeah, triple your prices. And another story I like to tell is from a lawyer from Hamburg. She was in their mid-30s. She had a child. She had a husband. She was overweight, and in a span of 6 months, we lowered her work week from about 80 to 35 hours. She had 3 new employees. She lost 20 kilograms. She spent more time with her son, more time with her husband, more time with the dog, had more spare time, free time to take care of the family, and she made more money because she had more people working for her who could now. One thing we sat down, it's like, okay, why are you doing all of this yourself? You could just hire somebody to do this. Simple little steps, and for them it's mind blow. And in the span of 6 months, her whole life changed. It was insane to see. It was insanely valuable. That's the cool thing as well. If you get your clients' results, I don't know anything if there's anything more fulfilling. It's crazy. If you literally see the life of somebody change in a couple of weeks and a couple of months, and you compare, because after 6 months you can really compare where we started, where you are right now, and you see this difference, and you think, what the fuck happened? And in terms of the contract and get paid first, I mean, there's one story. I still can't believe somebody would do that. But so I was speaking at a seminar, and I got 2 clients out of it. So by the way, great thing as well. If you want new clients, speak at seminars. It's great. Speak at seminars and then talk about your coaching, because if people experience you live and then also see you on social media, man, they will really resonate with you, or the people that are the right fit for you.
And by the way, at this point, I have to say, like, if you are willing to go on stage, if you get booked on stage, that's of course the best content for social media possible. If you're not at the high quality production level yet, especially because there will be somebody filming there, they will take care of getting you in good angles.
Yeah, you don't even need set up a camera. Just set up your iPhone and record with the
if they don't, but usually they do.
So yeah, and this guy, I got one client of it, a police officer actually. It was super interesting. I coached a police officer for 6 months. That was cool. And he was great. He was really cool. Awesome guy. And the other one, he was like, yeah, cool. I'm thinking about a 6 month coaching, but I also would like to book a whole day coaching, like as a onboarding process. And I said, sure, it's $1,000 extra. Sure, let's do it. And so we met in Cologne, where I still used to live in Germany, and we sat down, and I got the contract, and I naively, because it's like nobody would do that, I said, okay, we're here, we're going to take care of the contract afterwards. That's what I thought, because you're sitting there with him, right, for the next couple hours. It's like, yeah, we can do it afterwards. Well, I got this. It's so insane. I still can't believe how somebody could do this. We had a coaching for I think 3 hours or something. And at the end, when we wanted to sign the contract, he runs away. Like literally, he ran.
What? He got up and started.
He ran away.
Holy cow!
He literally ran away, and I didn't know how to. I was like, "What the hell?" I coached him for 3 hours. Like we took apart all of his life and everything, and it was a great coaching session. And then we went to the payment and contract. He ran away. Get this, right? This is why I'm so adamant about, hey, get a contract, get paid. Not because everybody out there is not willing to pay, that nobody out there is willing to pay, but because something like this happened. And I know you can trust pretty much 99% of people. Most people are good people. However, this one thing this one memory was burned in my mind so vividly. I still remember it's like, no, we're not doing anything without writing, without payment. We're not. After that, good to go, but before that, no. Because it was...
By the way, this is the one perspective of learning step that I hope, we both hope you don't have to go through. There's also the other added dimension where this is extremely helpful for your positioning. When you already have a few clients and they have seen you talk about your coaching and the fact that you have a coaching business, and when you are actually at the point where you're now talking to them in a call where it's to determine their future clienthood of you or not, with you or not, if they know that, and then you tell them, by the way, this is my usual process that I go through, everybody goes through this because blah, 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 because some people think that they're reading our clients with that, right? But if you just tell them, yeah, okay, you just sign a thing, here's the 2-page contract, granted, you don't throw a 40-page contract at their heads at this point, 2-4 pages max, that's good.
Yeah.
And you have the usual stuff in there, and it's all above board, and it's exactly what you just told them, then they will sign. And also they will think, okay, this guy taught me, and I have this memories of this guy talking about all the other coaching that he gives, all the results that he's delivering. So obviously those people must have gone through this process too. And that's the point where they realize it's just normal. And then it becomes normal for them. But you look way more professional, and this makes up 90% of the way, or even way more of the way than a certificate would do. Because now you actually demonstrated that you have professionalism in doing the process that leads to delivering the results.
That's a big one.
Not just getting taught by somebody who just wanted to sell you on something and then paid you back, so to speak, with a certificate on some implied knowledge that says nothing about the fact whether you can actually impart that knowledge and deliver the results based on that knowledge to another person. But if other people are willing to work with you on a long-term basis and don't sue you for every time you say out loud that you work with people, then chances are your process might be worth and objectively worth something.
Yeah, that's a big thing that you said as well in terms of professionalism. I mean, it's just professional that you have a contract there and that you do everything in nice and structured, we as Germans, it's a nice and structured manner. Like there has to be a streamlined. See, here, no, 9, we don't want any humor. This is not funny. Yeah, just have it in a structured way, in a professional way, and there you go. And then, I mean, just in terms of coaching, as soon as you start coaching, you can pretty much create any product you want. I mean, because I started with coaching, right? If you have nothing, start with coaching, because you can talk, you can work with people. There you go. And
you can solve their problem no matter what it is. Some problems you can solve intuitively, some problems you just come up with a great idea at the moment's notice, even though you never thought
it
about
takes a couple of weeks. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's like if you work together for half a year. And then through getting to know all of this, getting to know the people you work with, through getting to know their problems, the solutions, well, now you can write a book. Now you can create an online course. Now you can create a workshop, a seminar.
So please don't go, no, I can only start coaching once I write my first book and publish it and have it become a bestseller and created a website for it and created the perfect, social media profile with 20 hours of content. Because we have people in our circle, I wouldn't say friends, but acquaintances who are like this, or hear about these people or meet them at seminars. And all we go is take a camera, stand in front of a white wall so you don't look like a complete idiot, or a good view, it doesn't matter, and start recording.
All of this doesn't matter. I mean, the biggest thing is the sound. When the sound quality is all right,
sound quality, hands down. If quality doesn't matter, sound quality does matter, because if they have to strain themselves to hear you, they think you don't give a fuck about your message. It's like the equivalent of people talking very quiet.
Yeah, they just turn off, because it's easy to watch a video where the lighting is not perfect, where maybe the quality is maybe 480p instead of 720p, or that's okay. But imagine there's this clicking noise like all the time, or there's some irritating noises, or the sound quality is just bullshit. Well, people will sign on. Now everybody's signed off because I just did this. Everybody's like, fuck that. Everybody.
200,000.
And right now, I mean, we took a little break for 2 minutes. I literally just pulled out my iPhone and recorded a new video for my German YouTube channel in 5 minutes with this. Is the video perfect? Oh, I got a new match. Is the video perfect? Is the video perfect? Is the sound perfect? And 2 new sales. It's like I noticed the match first, and money, whatever. It's like
becomes normal for you.
Yeah, it really does. And
by the way, that's the actually perfect client, because he's now in a position where the money doesn't matter that much. So if you didn't have your social skills handled, you would now go and say, okay, I only work 6 hours every second day or something. If I don't, you work more, but like you would have to, in order to just keep your income going. What would you focus on? Now you focus on improving yourself. That's why people with money are very, very open for coaching.
And that's the thing right now. I have a waiting list around 80 people right now.
It's actually closer to 90, and it would grow every day, but we force it not to. Like we remove the ability for people to even find the waiting list right now.
Why? Well, because I can't handle any more clients, and if somebody says, "Oh, I don't want coaching," so all right, please don't sign up, because I've got enough stuff to do. We're actually looking for coaches and new salespeople and new camera guys and new editors right now. Besides that, let's talk about scaling.
Yeah.
I think this is your thing.
Kind of my Steckenpferd, as we say in German.
Your Steckenpferd, Jesus.
My stick horse. We have the worst sayings in the world come from Germany, I think. So he talked you through the basic math. So the basic math is you determine how many hours you want to work, and then you try to get to the point where you feel comfortable with the quote that you would have to get per customer, let's say. And of course, don't give them 1 session per week or something. This is crazy. You will overload them with homework to do it more spaced apart. But if you know there's
maximum 3, I would say. Maximum 3 per month.
Yeah. And that's already pushing it. Like I have clients when I do consulting where I do 1 session per week, but this is like, okay, I'm not giving you the homework. I know that I give you the homework that you give to your team, and then they can deliver on it. If they, when it is with a coaching where they have to do it themselves, you don't even have to forcefully overload them, but chances are you're going to give them a few inputs. And if you think this doesn't work, try reducing your coaching time to 30 minutes. You will see they still get too much input for working twice a week or every single week. Because when I started out, I thought like, okay, I have to work with a client twice a week. And then, because that's how I learned. Like I could have had enough questions for a mentor twice a week, but that's because I never had one. So when I got to the point where I was, let's say, wealthy enough to afford one, I was thinking, okay, I will try to get squeezed everything out of this person in terms of
juicy knowledge that I can, but then I'm also done after 3 weeks. So if you want to do a coaching like this, you can, but that's a different kind of format. If you do ongoing coaching, this time is good. So what do you do in terms of website? Just checking if something explodes here. What do you do in terms of website? Like what's the bare bone structure you need? Well, basically you can get started as a coach with an extremely simple one-pager where you start with, if you're doing video, then also have a video on the top of the page. Otherwise, text and a good picture of you is fine. Good picture is something where you don't look like a complete moron and where it's not a selfie. That's enough. Have somebody take a picture of you where you don't,
please don't use a selfie.
Fake smile or like where you don't look like you want to kill a person or like you're depressed. If you can do that, then you're golden, and everything else is
upgrades. What comes to mind? Just do like a free seminar in your city, in your town.
Oh yeah.
Just do a free seminar, like announce it a month in advance. Just rent a room. It doesn't matter how many people come, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Get some great pictures, get some content for social media. You maybe even get your first clients there, and there you go.
Yeah, and if like I'm always picturing the people who are way too shy to do even the first step, because that's how I was in the beginning. Like this for me sounded daunting, even though now I remember I actually did put on a seminar first myself in the beginning. But anyway, let's just say you're doing the very basics. So you have 3 core elements. You need to describe who you are and how you became the person that is capable of delivering value. You should be able to at least give a case study or an example. If you don't have that, just talk through what would happen, like mentally talk yourself through what would happen for some person who joins your coaching and goes to the end of it. Yeah. And then in the end, just actually have a close where you at least talk a little bit about your offer. And then please, for the love of God, don't end your page with a please contact me here button that leads to a contact form. Just actually have them fill out something, ask them 2 questions, and then not just like name, email, open text field and go, because you don't do any of the work for them. It doesn't look like they're signing up for everything. It looks like they're giving feedback on a bug in a web page that they're using.
Just terrible.
Yeah, and for the love of God, also don't put your phone number there and there. Just call me. Do you know how many people under 40 ever remember picking up the phone and calling someone cold unless they want to order a pizza? And even that is done over the internet where I don't have to talk to a person.
Who orders food over the phone? It's like you use a website.
Yeah, these days you use a website, but like if you're over 35, you still remember how to do it the old-fashioned way. But let's just assume that the people you're trying to sell to are even less comfortable at cold calling than you are, okay? So make it easy for them. Go to Google Forms, and if you don't know how that works, or go on YouTube and look up Google Forms, and ask them 3-4 questions like, where are you in your life right now? What's your biggest biggest obstacle? What is the reason that you think you've been failing? And how could I, which problem should I solve for you if I could magically snap my fingers?
Right? If you go back to my super rudimentary starting point where I didn't know what the hell I was doing, that's pretty much what I did.
Yeah.
At some point, I literally just sent them on a Google Forms where they entered their name, their email address, their telephone number, and like, okay, what do you want?
Yeah.
Not even 3-4, just, okay, why do you want coaching? That's it. And people signed up, and I called them, and I had clients.
At the very least, what you have to do is ask them something that is related to coaching and not just hey, if you want to get back to me, blah.
Exactly.
And by the way, and I know this as a fact, you can believe me or not, but at least in Germany, you are now ahead of, I would say, about 85 to 90% of the people. Because
worldwide, come on. I wouldn't say it's just in here, it's everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, in Germany, I know it. I haven't checked in the States, to be fair. But like, I spoke on a seminar recently where it was consultants for marketing automation. So guys who know about funnels, email marketing, and these kinds of things, at least in theory. And one part of my talk was actually checking the funnels of the people who were attending, because that was like the master class. They were already supposed to have something. Mm-hmm. And I could also check the funnels, because there was a listing, like a Craigslist, so to speak, of the funnels of the people who attended the same event previously, in the previous year. Mm-hmm. And I saw that only 20% of those people actually did it, even though they went to an event where they paid 2,000 euros to get taught and to be able to teach to others how to do it they didn't implement it themselves. So do a page. If you have a video at the top. Describe in bullets what your coaching can deliver. If you have, deliver a case study. Otherwise, talk them from the point to the journey in 2 paragraphs or 3 paragraphs tops, what the end result is. And then give them specific call to actions to asking for them for the information, but also asking, okay, where are you? Where do you want to go? What's your biggest obstacle? And really watch this again, write this down, copy it word for word. You don't have to think about it. And you can actually Google coaching funnel. If you don't believe me, you will find exactly what I just said, just more sophisticated because we don't have that kind of time. But for the basics, this is more than enough. This takes care of 80% of the legwork that he had to do in the beginning because we were going through the same processes of providing information to them, talking them through the coaching. Every single time with every client manually, and now you just automate it. How do you do this if you have no idea how to do a web page? Well, there's a bunch of softwares. We provide some links in the description. I don't know if you want to name them for advertising reasons on your channel.
Who?
Like the softwares that I'm about to name that you use for these kinds of funnels.
Oh, I don't care.
Okay.
Do they pay us money?
Well, they can if we put an affiliate link there.
Yeah, then we better put an affiliate link there.
Well, for example, ClickFunnels is perfect. You can even try them out for 14 days. I literally did an experiment last month, like less than 30 days ago, where I signed up for a new software that I haven't used like ClickFunnels. I took a template, I completely violated it in terms of making it look ugly, and I got my first client from running ads to it. That's the way I do it, but you don't have to invest money.
I would do it as well if I would have known it 4 years ago.
Yeah, true. And I spent literally 13 euros to get my first client for that net spend. My average spend per person that I couldn't get on the phone is 80
you
euros.
You also should maybe mention that you made 100K in 3 days or something.
No, it wasn't a week. It wasn't a week. 8 days, and I didn't close. Like I got them into the funnel in a 3-day period, and then I took more time. Also because I was completely overbooked and didn't have time to actually get on the phone immediately.
Yeah, you
with
also
the people.
make the sales all on your own.
Yeah, I didn't have a person. I did the whole process. But basically what he did, just that I also threw a Facebook ad that I literally wrote at 2 o'clock in the morning. And then I recorded myself at 2 o'clock in the morning. Then I cut it for half an hour and then I put it live. And that turned to about 100K in sales. Granted, I have a different story. I can charge higher prices.
Granted, you have 15 years of online marketing experience.
Fair, but I never did this. I was completely new at this. I didn't copy paste anything, even though I could have, and I started from scratch, even though I didn't need to, because in ClickFunnels you have templates for this sort of stuff, and you really just need to form in your name, your story, in your video, and then it's done. You literally have to do nothing. This is the level of technology that's available today. That wasn't even available when we started out or when we got in our first expert phase, I would say, where we're actually willing and able to charge and command higher prices, but still were beginners or newbies in certain areas, different areas for both of us, but for each of us, but still completely new at those. And they were our limitation steps. So right now, all you have to do is do what we say in this video and sign up with these kinds of services. Maybe you also need an autoresponder, but what we just explained to you even works without an autoresponder. You don't even need that sort of thing.
I mean, you can be as basic or rudimentary as you want to, or as sophisticated as you want to.
But everything we just said, literally, even if you're a complete newbie and never did it before, it takes less than a week to set up. Actually, in working hours, it takes less than a full day.
You can get your first 6-month client this week. I mean, literally, if I had to start all over again without the knowledge of paid traffic or something, or if I really had zero money on my bank account, zero, record videos, record podcasts, release everything, send all of them to a Google form. And then you don't even need a website, and then just call them, and let's say just one guy per day signs up, right? 7 guys per week, just one guy. And you just close and one of them. All right, cool. Imagine you get 1 new client per week. Cool.
Okay, so now for the last 5 minutes, because 1 new client per week, that doesn't get you to 250K immediately, obviously, right? And
not immediately,
but it gets you very quickly to something if you build that. So now for the people who have been watching this, a little present for the more advanced people, so to speak. Like, what would you do if you had some of the pieces of the puzzle and you just really want to get there in as quick a time as possible?
Yeah.
You do everything we just said in terms of when you get somebody at the phone and for the content you do. And on the paid side, you build a page like the one I just said. You hopefully have some testimonials, or you get the first people you get on the phone and you tell them, listen, I'll coach you for free 2 times and you just have to talk afterwards and on the camera what I did for you. And it is impossible for you to coach 5 people where you won't get at least 2 very, very, very decent testimonials.
If not, think about your coaching.
Because you will deliver something that for you is normal and for them is a huge aha moment, like a huge enigma. And that will always happen. It happens every single time with every single client that ever coached himself that I had in my thing. So you start this, you put those on the webpage, and now you record like a 5 to 10 minute video detailing your process, introducing yourself and your story, and actually telling people what they can achieve if they sign up with you. You record a short version of that and a long version of that. The short version you put on Facebook, and you write a text that just has 3 components. What are their blocks? Like, are you frustrated with A, B, and Z? Then you describe how their life can be, and then if they would go to watch your stuff, and then you go and say, hey, watch this stuff right now on my page. And in the stuff, the long video, you actually tell the journey and you talk them through a few case studies. Now you run traffic through that. You spend 10, 20, 30, 40 euros on ads because you already have your first clients. They give you some money and you reinvest even only 20, 30% of that. If you do that, something very, very funny will happen, because all of a sudden your posts that are organically picked up by the site get higher ranked organically if you take a post, and we talk about this in a later video. But now you have this multiplication effect, because you go broad with your content, and with the ads on the content that you're pushing and some boosting of the content you're doing, you go deep at the same time. Now you're seen by 10 or 100 fold of the people that usually see you. And if in every second coaching video you pull out, or in every video you pull out, at some point you have to stop doing it in every video. You tell people, by the way, if you want to sign up for my coaching, I'm doing some very limited free sessions right now, just click the link below. And literally do what I just did at the end of your videos, and do this for a month. You will already have more clients and more people wanting to work with you than you can handle. And this is why this works so well, because you can't possibly fail doing something regularly for 6 months and not get at least 3 or 4 decent case studies, unless you don't ask for them, of course. But now you know to ask for them, so ask for them. You can't get to the point where you don't have at least some paying clients. And then if you're able and willing to invest that money, and there's tons of YouTube videos and free videos on there on what to do in the first 3 ads and how these funnels can look like. There's even complete free templates where you can put all the stuff in if you really want to. But at this point in your journey, you can 10x or exponentialize your results in an extremely short time frame. And if you get coaching from guys like us, it goes even faster, and it's almost guaranteed, because we're sitting here, we have all this crazily well done equipment and stuff, not because we want to stay at that level or even we're staying at that level. We just took this business that right now is doing, or was doing roughly what per month? I mean, you can do the math. 250K per year means between 20 and 30 per month. It's a little seasonal and stuff, but this
was last year. This year it's better.
Yeah, this year's better. But now we're at the point where legitimately from the clients you would get from one time, like, we can't do this formula anymore, because the last time we did it, he got his waiting list. Now do the math on the waiting list. You close how many people usually from 10 people you get on the phone?
If I do it myself, 70 to 80.
So 7 to 8 people. You have a waiting list of how many people?
Right now, about 80.
So let's say only half of them have the money because they came in through things where it's not stated explicitly how much money the coaching costs. Say even only 20% or 25% have the money. That's 20 people. If he closes 70% of those, that means he has now 15 more coaching clients to deal with, willing to pay him 12,000 euros.
Yeah, which is more than, like, at a given time, I only have 6 full-time coaching clients, because I feel like I don't want any more. So that's why I have the mastermind, that's why I have the other groups. But one-on-one coaching clients, I only want 6 always. 2.5
times what we can in a very conservative worst case scenario. And that's not even selling the other people on the waiting list on something that is lower priced. So we created something with one of the things that we do together that actually lifted from 250K a year to getting the clients, and the whole process started that just ends with, yeah, okay, I take your money. Click. Dependable, scalable, and realistically, I just walk you through the math, to $500,000 per month in terms of sales originated from that month's activity. It actually was a 10-day launch.
I always like to be more conservative with this, because 80 people, let's say 20 don't have the money, let's say 10 are like, I don't want to work with them, so we have 50 people, still, I always like to be a little more conservative.
Yeah, but if you do the math on
maybe
50
I'm standing
people,
my own way with this as well, but I prefer to,
This is, by the way, funny to see, because of course we also still have limiting beliefs. We have them on a 6 to 7 figure or 8 figure income level, but we still have limiting beliefs. You always have them. You just exchange them for higher level limiting beliefs. And that's because we're all growing. That's, by the way, the reason you will never run out of people to coach. Never, ever in a million years. And this means literally that even if he takes the math now that we just had 50 people, and you can close them on something that costs maybe just €1,000 per month for 6 months, that's still 300K. 300K, dudes. So we are talking about a 250K per year, and now a 250K per year in a year becomes 300K in a month.
And then you get to the point, right?
Not being able to take all the clients that you actually want to work with you, by the way, 300K a month.
Two things, if I may add. This
No.
is, first of all, you're like, no. First of all, this is the reason why you have to define, first of all, how your life should look like, how many hours you want to work, how many clients you want to have, because otherwise it will get out of control. You have no, like, tracking is everything, right? You have no numbers in terms of how close am I to my goal, how many sales did I do, how many calls did I do, how many leads do I get. So you need to track it with numbers, right? You need a certain goal. That's the first thing. The second thing is, once you reach this, then it depends on how far you want to push it, or what do you want your lifestyle to look.
I mean, imagine, because by this point, I mean, you're conservatively a conservative guy. We just established this. You saw him doing the math himself and how many people he discounted.
Yeah.
But if you were willing,
I feel like sometimes I'm standing in my own way with this. When I now just talked about it, it's like, maybe I am standing in my own way, but it's like,
You have it live on camera, folks. But no, let's be serious for a second about this, because this is a fundamental step that every human has to go through on the journey to growth. If you were still capable and willing, and it would be the best use of your time to only help the amount of people you could help in one-on-one coaching. Because right now you can inspire tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people with the messages you put in your content. So of course, for you and for your goal set, which is to inspire the most amount of people, I assume, or that's what I get from talking to you so often, it's not your primary focus to just help people in depth, the most people possible. But if you come from I want to be a coach because I'm sort of like a life coach, like I see this not like therapy, but like moving people who are healthy to the next level, like therapy for healthy people to actually move people to the next level. And this is what I live for. Imagine this logically. If you now would do 40 hours per week of coaching work, which is absolutely zero problem with the waiting list you have right now.
For me, no way. I don't want to.
Yeah, he doesn't want to. But imagine how, like, at 40 hours, coaching client gets how much for the thing per month that he's currently?
2 sessions.
2 sessions.
And my WhatsApp number.
2 sessions at 30 minutes, 40 minutes?
No, 60 minutes.
60 minutes. Okay. So that means at 160 hours per month, you could have 80 clients.
Yeah, no,
80
it's not
clients at 2K per month is 160,000 euros. And this guy would be sold out. If he would want to do that, he would be sold out in literally a week. Because, or maybe 2 weeks, because it actually takes so much time to take all the first calls. I'm not even kidding you. That's the time limiter. And then just by what you have out there and the content you're pushing, which you then wouldn't have time to produce, you would still be making those for all eternity.
Per day, it's like, that's not much.
Now, imagine if your worst problem is you can only do what you love for 8 hours a day. And then you spend maybe an extra 20 minutes on content creation, because literally you only have to have one guy come in and go, hey, let's film a real quick testimonial in the last 10 minutes of your coaching. Yeah, sure.
You need just a video per day, a podcast per day. How far? Depending on how long the video is, 10, 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah. So that's very, very little. And just imagine being in the situation. I know it's hard to believe for the people who are out there and who are struggling to close their clients at like 50 to 100, maybe $150 per hour. But the thing is, we are not rock stars. We're not magicians. There are no magicians. There's people who are willing to do what's necessary and follow the process to the end. That's it.
Want to add something to this as well. First of all, we've been hammering it home, but get rid of the ascension model that you have to ascend to be able to get a certain price. No, just
Your clients might have to ascend, but you don't have to.
Yeah, just start charging. And the other thing is, I wouldn't recommend you starting a coaching business when you have no money in the bank, when you are struggling. Like have an income, have money set aside, because like this, maybe some people would see it differently, but like this, you can actually help the client. You don't have to think about your own financial situation. So you can put the client first. You can put the sales process first. That's how I personally see it. I've seen people say as well, oh no, if you're broke, it's the best. Then you actually start charging. But I've seen a lot of people then getting desperate and lowering their price and never lower their price. Deliver more value, but never lower the price. Because it's never about the price. It's always about something else, but people like to project it on the price.
Just imagine you see your coaching client who just said no to a life-changing transformational coaching that will cost them $300 per day, per month. And then imagine you see him walk out of the door and walk into the nearest grocery store and buy sweets for like 150 euros that you know is the only value he's going to get from them is like diabetes.
He's buying cigarettes, like smoking a pack a day. Like, oof, boy. And that's one interesting story in terms of one of my consulting clients for social media. We had a call, and we had a call of an hour, and he told me, yeah, I still need to think about it, because at the end, it's a big mistake on my side. He told me that he has a business partner and he needs to be there as well. I was like, oh shit. So he's not the only decision maker. So he talked to his business partner next day, and he sent me a message, a text message. Hey man, yeah, thanks for everything, but I think we're gonna do it on our own. And my thought was, oh my god, the poor guy. He wants to start all the social media marketing without knowing anything about it. Me doing this for 4 years, knowing how much time I could have saved, how much frustration, how much bullshit I did in the past, how many mistakes.
Come up with
man,
like a year or half a year.
Exactly, and I'm like, oh my god, this poor guy, he wants to go through all of this alone. I need to help him. So I wrote him again. Hey man, okay, we have to do another call. We have to do another call. We have to do another call, because, in my opinion, is it empathy? How do you say Mitgefühl in English? Empathy? No, it's empathy.
Empathy is sympathy.
Compassion maybe. Be compassionate with them. Have empathy, and in terms of, oh shit, they're shooting themselves in the foot right now. He's going through a lot of pain if he's not doing this. And lo and behold, I got a call with both of them. Right, I demanded that the second guy is there as well, so I could show him actually what we are doing. And there you go. Now I've been working with them for 3 months or something. That was a very interesting learning experience as well, that you need empathy, compassion to work with them, to get in their head, because you need to understand their motives, and especially you need to understand their fears, right? Because the only reason why people are not buying is because they don't trust you, or because they have a fear, or because they have the fear of looking stupid or making a bad decision or losing money.
They don't believe in you, or they don't believe in themselves. That's the only two reasons. Everything else is just a facet of that.
True. And if you can get into their head through empathy, you'll find that out. Cool. With this said, it started to rain, as you maybe can hear, and we're gonna wrap it up. I've got another video coming up with this guy about the importance of mentoring. So, because I literally learned everything about business from this guy, and man, it's really pouring, huh? I hope you can still hear me. So subscribe to the channel, click on the little bell next to it, so you get notified about new uploads. And yeah, feel free to drop a comment about future topics that you want us to cover on this channel, regarding questions regarding this video, or different business topics, different personal development topics. And yeah, brother, we're gonna link everything from you down below as well.
Sure.
Right? You're not that active on social media yet, but I'm about to coach you to change this.
He's about to force fit me with everything that I need to know in order to get started, and then we'll also put that onto YouTube, so stay tuned if you need some more input on what to get started on now to get over the first barrier. That's it for me. Thank you, man.
Thanks, brother. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.